Hello, everybody, far and wide, and welcome to this forum that looks back in time. Courtesy of Casa D18 Studios, we hope you enjoy what's being called Throwback Thursday. Over the coming weeks, months, and hopefully years to come, we hope that you will enjoy us opening the vaults and archives to look back at some of the most unique content across all of our platforms, whether it's Casa D18 Studios, the Jeff Meacham Network, NoDQ.com, my Sybil YouTube channel, The Sybil Man's Brand, and of course, FTW Productions, hosted by James Hebert at jhebertside95. It basically is just going to offer you a ton of classic content. So with that being said, buckle up, have fun, take a seat, just enjoy life and enjoy wrestling and enjoy what this Throwback Thursday has in store for you. And again, I hope that you stay tuned for many more that hopefully will come too.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Hello pals, Alyssa Marino here, and as a friend of Parker Kane Promotions, I am super excited to share the awesomeness that they've got in store for you this November at WrestleCade. You'll be seeing the world-traveling Capital Championship Wrestling Global Fighting Champ Rebecca J. Scott, a rising star who's been featured on Ladies Night Out, MCW, and more, the stunner Emily J., an internationally traveled talent who you've seen on NXT UK and Stardom, Angel of the Ring Zaya Brookside, and NWA World Women's Tag Team Champion Chicago's sweetheart Missa Kate will also be appearing live. It's all going down WrestleCade weekend in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. You can catch these stars brought to you by Parker Kane Promotions on Saturday, November 25th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And be sure to stick around for Ladies Night Out the following day on Sunday, November 26th. You can get your WrestleCade weekend tickets at WrestleCade.com.
Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Jeff Meacham Network. The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.
JJ, Jeff, you want to kick this thing off? Because I'm still trying to process everything here.
Yeah, it's like,
who wants to go first?
Yeah, who wants to go first?
well,
Come on in. It's open mic night with your host.
you could maybe say there's really 4 topics, but it's split into 6.
The Renegade, JJ Williams.
The Sammy and Eddie Kingston thing, which one's the better smelling turd?
And his panel of co-hosts.
I am the founder. We'll call me that for today since we're going with the Jeff Jarrett love theme here this week, according to JJ.
The West Coast Professor, Jeff Meacham.
Karma is karma is karma.
That's professional wrestling! Damn it!
The Simple Man, Noah Foster.
It's showtime! Yeah! How you doing, JJ? How you doing, Jeff?
James.
Yeah.
And the He-Man, James Hebert.
Imagine Bill Burr, Joe Rogan, Paul White, the Baldies! There you go! It sells itself!
God.
Get in there!
Showed his ass and shit the bed.
He's not Amber Heard.
Give it time, JJ, give it time.
Now, I'm sure Jeff has some stuff that
Dumb move, just don't pull this bullshit again. You get one.
Tony needs to stop caring about the ratings.
Bradshaw said as long as the ads are in place, we're not going to lose that third hour.
Ring of Honor does not have to be AEW light. They don't necessarily have to coexist with each other. You kind of saw that tonight to a degree.
Along with a panel of guests.
He's no longer glorious. Don't you bring that up. You want me to rant about what my NXT used to... No, we are done here for the night. I swear, James.
Because you never know who may show up for open mic night.
I leave our company in the capable hands of an extraordinary group of superstars, employees, and executives.
The first thing that came to my mind was, it's about damn time.
Amen!
I literally touched everybody in the state's trash. So it's horrible, you guys.
Peyton's new thing is Dennis the Menace, but it's funny because she calls it Dentist the Medicine. And
That's great.
When Elliot Taylor came out and did Born for Greatness live, I was popping my pussy, having a great time. I didn't care. I was having so much fun.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Fuck Bill Belichick.
Oh my God! Go there. Had to do the friggin' football thing. We ended on wrestling, and then you bring in that shit. That's just how the thing goes off the damn rails. Brilliant, bloody brilliant.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a brand new edition of Open Mic Night. As always, joining me here this evening, we've got James Hebert, the Simple Man Noah Foster, Josh Mansfield. Gentlemen, what is going on this evening?
Doing good.
Yeah. Just working on stuff for tomorrow morning. Just got done watching New Japan Pro Wrestling Autumn Battle. Hell of a match with Will Ospreay and Tetsuya Naito. Tranquilo. And woke up from a nap, and I'm ready to fall back, but I'm also ready to dive into another great session of Open Mic Night with my friends.
Here we go. James, it's always a pleasure to have you back with us after your week hiatus.
Welcome back, brother.
Anybody that has not seen the video that this man put out on Friday, go to his channel, take a look at it. Yes, you're going to invest 3 hours of your life into this, but it is this man speaking 150% passionately about everything that is wrong in this business and right now and why it's driven him away from it on a weekly basis.
Mm-hmm.
I literally finished watching it before we came on live tonight. I had popped in a little bit for him towards the tail end of his broadcast on Friday. Just timing was what it was. But I made sure to go back and invest the time into hearing everything he had to say uninterrupted. I know sometimes here on open mic night, things can get a little bit chaotic. We end up speaking over each other.
Yeah.
But I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to invest my time to hear everything that he had to say. And he put up valid points. He used video clips to help illustrate his arguments.
Mm-hmm.
And to touch on, this is what happened. This is how I feel about it and why I feel about it. So I definitely recommend people go invest the 3 hours of your time, listen to what this man said, because for the time being, this right here is the only place you're going to be able to find him talking about wrestling.
Yep.
And we appreciate you for doing that, James.
I appreciate you guys for understanding where I'm coming from. Now, here's what and I did not clarify this on the podcast. So this is the only thing I haven't clarified, and I'll be clarifying it in the comments of the video itself and in the description. I may or may not watch professional wrestling on a full-time basis again, maybe in my life.
Mm-hmm.
However, and I want to make this very clear, under no circumstances, unless it's on this show and the 4 watch parties I fucking do on my channel a year, does that mean I'm going to ever be covering this stuff again. That's where I am at. That's my mentality. I think if I am to enjoy wrestling again, I got to separate myself from covering it as much as I was covering it. Like and that's another thing. I was spreading myself so thin, doing all the wrestling content and trying to do all the other stuff I was trying to do on top of that. My hair was thinning at one point.
I totally get where you're coming from. I mean, I have firsthand witnessed Jeff go through the same thing. And, you figure between Talk Wrestling, Dads on Wrestling, he was doing Meech's Musings. He was doing, all this content over the course of a week because he felt like he had to have something different and fresh on a daily basis in order to boost up that visibility, in order to get his numbers to where he needed to get them, to get monetized, to get making money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, that he ended up doing. And it's the same thing that ended up with you. You guys didn't do the one thing that Noah constantly reminds us to do in his ending every week.
Yeah.
Protect your mentality.
Right. And that's another thing too. Like on FTW Productions, I don't need to be on any of the wrestling shows. Noah's got ATW View. Owen's got the rundown. Casey, if Casey and I talk about anything in Wrestling with Idiocy, it's just usually retro shit anyway, right? So it's like Casey usually hosts that. There's not really a need for me on any of the wrestling programs outside of this,
And we appreciate you did say that you would do the watch-alongs for AEW and WWE as well still.
Yes.
So,
yeah,
like I said, man, we appreciate the fact that you're still willing to commit to those things on a regular basis for this channel, for Jeff's channel, for Noah's channel, all the channels that this goes across. I know I speak for everyone when we say thank you for what you're still willing to do. I just wanted to get that out there and address for those people that may not have seen his video.
Yeah.
Me and James talked a little bit before we came on the air here today, and we are at an understanding. If for some reason a topic gets introduced that he has covered somewhere else, or that he just feels that he mentally cannot dive into without getting overexhausted, He's just going to excuse himself. We're going to bring him in the green room, and we'll bring him back in for the next topic, because we want James to continue to protect his mentality so that he can be an effective contributor to this show and all the other shows around the channels.
Yeah, at the end of the day, just also have fun at what it means to be a professional wrestling fan, too. What brought you into this business in the first place before social media and content creation was even conceived as a notion. Then that's what's most important. So, James, more power to you. And as far as my content goes, I had no effing idea I would be involved in YouTube come 2017 when I was just suggested by Caitlin to talk about evolution. And while it's been fun to pursue all this other type of great stuff, including commentary, open mic night, content creation, podcast hosting, at the end of the day, I'm just constantly enjoying what it means to be a wrestling fan. So whether or not I get back in the ATW view, whether or not I do the All Elite recap reviews again, only time will tell, because at the end of the day, I've really learned, especially being one-year homeowner, to really just take life easy and just lean back and let things play out the way they are.
Yep.
Absolutely. And congratulations on being a one-year homeowner too.
That's
Noah.
awesome, man.
I saw that post earlier today for you, and I meant to mention it when we were doing the watch along earlier, but it just slipped my mind with as amazing as that content was. Keen Mike says it was a mid-show, to be honest, and I honestly would like to know what show you were watching, Keen Mike, because that was an amazing show in my opinion. I know James hasn't seen it yet.
I have not seen it yet, but Josh had a thing he wanted to say, I think.
I was saying he had his hand up, so yep, we recognize that.
Yeah. Real quick. 1, James, we love you.
Much appreciated.
2, if without Noah, all of us would be lost.
Yeah.
Accurate.
3, Renegade, how many minutes are we into this so far?
17 and a half, sir, when you count the trailers and everything.
Okay. 4, James, I'm sorry about to steal your shtick, but sweet freaking fuck, Noah shaved.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
It's just a once a month.
This is no shave November, man.
That don't apply to me. I don't believe in all these conveying notions that people put together these months and all that stuff. I keep it simple and do my own thing. Once a month, I go to Lady Jane's. They touch me up.
I would talk about the other part of November, but I don't know if you're
let's not go there, James. Let's not go there because BB and his brother are watching. So, Greg Cherry in the building. Happy birthday, Greg. I did not send the greetings.
Royalties. You'll get copyright.
Yeah. We don't need to get copyright dinged.
Wait. Hold on.
We'll save that for Christmas.
Other part. We talk about other part of November. What else is there?
No.
We'll tell you off the air, Noah.
We'll tell you off the air anyway.
There is kittens watching.
Real quick, Josh, where the fuck did you get the pipes? No. You're gonna sing a song now.
No, this is not Christmas month. Stop it.
We're going to save it for Christmas because we are going to do the Wheel of Carols on our Christmas episode.
Pipes? What do you mean?
James, you didn't know I sang?
Not like that.
Bro, I'm in a church choir. I just got recruited for another church choir today for Christmas Eve.
Well,
out of nowhere.
Hey, man.
That's what Josh
is my spiritual director's
letting
fault.
his vocals.
Hey, bro, you
go.
got talent. That's all I'm saying. Holy shit.
Once again, Greg Cherry, happy birthday. King Mike X is salty that Bailey lost.
So am I.
That's
even
part of
the
why.
Thing yet.
Spoiler alert.
Daniel says he's already laughing his ass off.
Good.
King Mike, if the people want to sing it, then contribute a super chat on their behalf. Then maybe something will actually happen here.
Hey,
like I said, we're going to do the Wheel of Carols on our Christmas show. And for super chats, we will sing Christmas carols. We'll spin the wheel. Whatever it lands on, we will all participate and sing, but only if there are super chats. So everyone out there, if you want to hear us sing Christmas carols and make asses of ourselves, save your money for those super chats.
Josh is going to be the best one out of all of us.
I am not doing Andy Jackson. Freaking y'all, y'all can't put a price on that.
Come on,
James,
Noah. 'Tis the season.
Go for it, Josh. Sorry.
James, so if you want, there is an episode of the Greg Cherry Brand from a few months ago. Greg will have to find it, where I was the guest on because Jeff was busy and Big G was busy, and someone spun the wheel and got karaoke. So I took the karaoke, and the song I chose was The Undertaker's Druids theme.
Are you Wait, are we talking the Druids theme, like when they come out? The Druids?
Yep, that. Exactly. He knows the incantation. What the hell? That is brilliant.
There you go, James.
If you guys on here want me to sing tonight, though, minimum $15 super chat donation.
Yeah. Raise your stock, bro.
No, not November. What the hell nickname is that?
You dickheads!
Oh,
wow.
No, if you don't know what that means, you are too pure for this world. I
It is
envy
21
you.
minutes in, and we've already gone sideways. Once again, let me remind y'all
Google this.
that
There are
Cece's
children.
sons
No,
are
do not.
watching. Her 13-year-old boys are watching, so try to
Stop it.
keep that in mind, y'all.
Stop it. Listen, we can do it when they go to bed. Right now ain't the time. I mean,
No,
inside
do not
joke.
Google.
You guys are
Do
taking
not
it
Google.
overboard.
No.
All
Do
right,
not Google.
let's try to.
Do not Google. Do not Google.
Okay, the phone is
Let's
down.
try
You
to
gotta
reel
wait.
this back in.
You will wait.
Let's
my
try
God.
to reel this back in a little bit.
Oh no. Oh no.
What the hell,
We
man?
got a $2 super chat from Keen Mike X saying, Noah, please sing, buddy.
I haven't sung a song since my 8th grade talent show when I sung Lean on Me by Bill Withers, all right?
You gotta do it now. Hey, listen, we got a super chat. You gotta do it now.
Keen Mike X, thank you so much for the super chat, sir.
I feel like that would get claimed, all right?
All right, Noah. Remember what I said? I will join you in the singing. So, what song do we want to pick for? It could be.
I
Christmas
don't
already.
freaking.
Okay, how about Frosty the Snowman? How about that?
Oh Lord, it's
I can
not
do
even
it.
the holiday season. JJ has lost control. Of
We
his
haven't
own
even gotten to
show.
the first topic yet, and we've already lost
Hey, listen,
control.
we got a super chat. We got to give the people what they want.
I don't know what they
Let's
want,
make that
wrestling
stop
or
ourselves.
holiday related.
Hey,
Anything for the holiday.
any-
I'll do it. I'll do
Anything
it
for
for you. I'll do it for you right now. I don't give a fuck. Frosty
Of course,
the
you have no
Snowman
dick. You
with
have
the
no
jolly happy soul. With
You
a
okay there,
corn cob
JJ?
pipe and a button
James
nose
with his best
and two
Jimmy
eyes
Durante
made out of
impression.
coal.
You okay there, JJ?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Apparently, the Houston Astros are the 2022 World Series champions.
Yuck!
So,
Oh,
regardless
my
of how
God.
you feel about them,
God,
congratulations to the Astros.
Hey, listen, you want Into the Unknown by
BB
Frozen?
wants Let It Go.
I could do that. I could do that in metal version. Into the
I can do the
unknown!
Star Wars parody of it.
Into the unknown. Into the unknown.
And I
I've seen
don't
that
want
guy.
the world to see me. God.
There we go. We got a little bit
Noah
of
sang,
Iris from
James sang.
Noah.
If you
There
want me
we
to
go.
sing again, it's $15.
He's the best
Can
singer
we
I've ever
please
heard.
get into the
Okay.
wrestling discussion here?
Yes,
Yes!
let's. All right. So,
I agree.
generally, we do this on dads or whatever when we give props to the producers. But since Crown Jewel was at 9:00 in the morning for me, so goddamn early,
Damn it.
we were able to get the match producers list. So I just want to go one by one. We'll go through the matches. I've got the results here. So spoiler alert to anyone who hasn't seen it yet. If you don't know what happened already, you're going to find out what happened in these matches. And we're just going to go through and kind of briefly talk about the producers. And Noah, if me and you want to add a couple of words about these matches as we go through, we can do that again real quick for the people that missed it. So first match of the night,
All right.
Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. That was Michael P.S.
Again?
Hayes and Jason Jordan.
Wait, again?
Mm-hmm.
Jason Jordan, huh? It's interesting Jason Jordan was kind of involved in this because Jason Jordan is more so the guy that I believe from a collegiate background, and this was not really a wrestling match. This was just an all-out aggressive warfare brought out by the Almighty. But I will say this presentation brought a different side of Bobby Lashley I have not seen in a long time that made him seem the most serious since probably his TNA run, to say the least. And truth be told, at the end of the day, Brock Lesnar, he outlasted Bobby Lashley with awareness, amateur wrestling moves. So kudos to both of them, and this was a hell of an opener.
It was, and you mentioned about how Jason Jordan kind of surprised you being collegiate. Let us not forget, Noah, these are two NCAA athletes here.
That's true. That's true. Now, I didn't see a lot of that in this match, though. You just saw a lot of
No.
body-on-body collision.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
Lord.
was knockdown, drag out,
Big cost match.
Bingo, brother.
Yeah.
Then we went to Damage Control versus Asuka and Alexa Bliss, and that was the Canadian Destroyer, my brother from a Canadian mother, P.D. Williams.
Canada represent. That don't surprise me. A lot of great tag team synergy on both sides here. As far as the angle that involved leading to the end, it's one of those phases where I'm like, why? Why did this happen literally after 6 days? But still, pretty darn good match brought by all four.
We then went to the steel cage, Drew McIntyre and Karrion Kross, and that was Chris Park, Abyss.
Yeah, I'm not shocked by
Not one bit.
Any of that sentence.
Both of these being Impact alumni. I mean, I'm not shocked by that one bit.
That's fair. Yeah.
After that match was the Judgment Day over the OC, and that was Jamie by God Noble, boy.
Were these the three? Oh yeah, there is only 3 guys in the Judgment Day, and then Rhea, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then the OC not representing
most.
California. Nobody came in on their behalf, and bottom line, the X Factor Rhea Ripley was the difference maker again.
There you go.
Sounds like the OC need a difference maker. Somebody call Luke Gallows as the first lady of the Bullet Club. Get her in there.
I don't think Amber Gallows is even next anymore with Big LG, but I understand what you're saying.
She really got mad about that Dana Brooks segment, huh?
Possibly.
Braun Strowman versus Omos was the Scrap Daddy Adam Pearce.
Oh, I feel bad for Scrap Daddy.
You know what? I don't, because me and Noah were talking about this during the show. This is quite possibly Omos's best showing to date.
Well, I mean, he's working with Braun
without MVP, and he made a statement. Win or lose, he looked good. This match was 95% Omos beating the crap out of Strowman.
Wow.
As weird as that is to say, it literally was a charge to the corner that missed. Strowman was able to power slam him and get the pin.
And that was the only offense Braun Strowman pulled off this entire match. He even went for
Pretty
the
much.
train, and Braun Strowman basically hit a concrete wall.
Yeah, the Strowman Express got derailed by Omos.
So we can all agree, though, that this was not Hogan versus Andre 2 like Braun Strowman said it was going to be.
Oh,
Absolutely
no.
not.
No.
Absolutely not.
That's what I thought.
No. it was far from it, but again, it was a damn good showing by Omos. This is probably the first time since I started watching where he thoroughly impressed me in the ring.
I can't argue
And
that.
he did it without MVP, like I said.
He did it all on his own. There was nobody else on either side, no outside parties, nothing. Omos even verbally kind of like berated Braun Strowman throughout this match, teased him based on his overall height. And again, Braun Strowman had to look up to this guy. How often do you say that in a sentence? Braun Strowman looking up at his opponent. So the way that Omos was being presented here went really strong based on his stature and character. And Braun Strowman had to pull one move, yes, to get the win, but he didn't do it till the very end.
Excuse me.
Sounds like it was a Roadblock versus Lex Luger match, which is actually pretty
Yeah.
It's a
if
nice
anybody
comparison.
remembers those days, like Lex Luger had to get him up for the torture rack, and he botched it the first time because he was too heavy, Roadblock, and then he tried it the second time and he failed, and he looked like he was down on his luck, and he's like, no, I'm gonna go for it one final time. Got it up. The pop was huge when he finally got him up for this. Like, biggest babyface reaction on that show.
I wouldn't say there was the biggest pop when Braun Strowman finally got almost up on the shoulder with assisted momentum, but it definitely was a moment that commentary tried to sell, including me. Because again, Braun Strowman went for the running power slam setup twice before this match. Third time was the charm, but he couldn't do it on his own power.
Yeah. After that, we went to the Usos and the Brawling Brutes, and this match was again a Chris Park Abyss match.
Wow, Abyss feeling Usi.
He was definitely feeling Usi tonight, as was the Saudi crowd.
Yeah,
also,
the sign in
big
the front.
shout out to Lady Ref Jess, best ref in WWE, not named Little Nate Charles Robinson.
Agree. Definitely agree. And Jessica Carr, I mean, yeah, she was part of 2 matches here. And the Brawling Brutes, let's be honest here. It was the first time we saw these two together in a title affair. I didn't see them wearing the belts, but they showed great tag team chemistry. There were some nice nods to Sheamus. There were a couple of spots where I thought that literally they could have gotten it. But again, you don't bet against the Usos. They're the ones for the reason. But this was a really good match.
I honestly had to change my prediction on this one because when I submitted my form, I had the Brawling Brutes. I thought that with everything going on in the bloodline, the dissension, I thought it was going to mess with Jey Uso's head. And I thought the Brutes were going to take that into their hands, be able to capitalize. But after watching SmackDown last night, I changed my pick during the predictions panel that me and Noah did. So I was able to actually get that one right. But like Noah said, there were a couple points where the Brutes looked like they were going to get it. And I was like, God damn it, Noah. If they end up taking it, I'm going to be mad that I changed my pick back.
Hey, go with your first instinct, right? I mean, if you're the minority out of the majority, a Hail Mary is bound to happen at some point, even in the WWE. It just wasn't here.
Exactly. Go ahead, Josh.
Well, 2 things. One, Noah, to pull a Greg Cherry here, this was not the first tag team title match the Brawling Brutes had. This was their second. Because they had one on SmackDown before that Imperium interrupted. Secondly, yeah, the reason that, again, Usos won and we didn't see anything from Jay, Sammy wasn't here. Because it's Saudi. Sammy doesn't go to Saudi.
Correct.
Friday, remember, the Usos defend the tag team titles against the team that if they beat them, then they'll have the longest reigning tag team title reign in history in WWE against the team that currently holds that record, the New Day.
Yes,
Sami Zayn will be there. So
I was going to bring that up, Josh. As we stand today, the Usos are in 475 days of their run. Come November 11th, Friday for SmackDown, they will be at 481. New Day's record is 483. So if they get past the New Day, then by Raw, they will have broken the record because that'll be 484. If they lose to the New Day, they miss it by 2 days.
If they beat the New Day, there's no other obstacle for the Usos at this point. No other obstacle.
I mean, this is something that definitely has to be brought up on the NoDQ review, on commentary that night for SmackDown. Like, for real, they've got the opportunity to fall to the very team whose record they are on the verge of eclipsing.
It's
like
gotta
Josh
be the main
said,
event.
it's poetic.
It's got to be the main event that night.
Yeah,
I agree. After that match, Bianca Belair over Bayley, last woman standing. Again, this was Petey Williams.
What?
Petey Williams, man, he's been busy. I thought there was a bit of Michael P.S. Hayes involved in this, considering he had a golf cart and a stage crate at one point. But again, the EST proved how resourceful she could be and came out on top. And again, not a bad match. But sorry, folks, Bayley did not come out on top. Damage control remains without full control. And honestly, I don't know at this point if Bayley can challenge Bianca again for the title, because they've done this now to 2 different gimmick scenarios. Where do you go from here?
Exactly. And it doesn't surprise me that they gave all the women to Petey, especially since TJ's name isn't around here anywhere.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
So Petey being involved for those matches, I think is a great step. I love Petey. Always been a fan of his ever since his NWA&AV days with Team Canada. He's part of the reason I wanted that X Division title replica that I've got over here to my left. So
Right, the old school version.
yes. And then the main event, Roman Reigns over Logan Paul. That match belonged to Michael P.S. Hayes.
I knew it.
And Sugar Shane Helms.
You know what?
Oh,
It
there's
doesn't
Hurricane.
surprise me. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Not
You
one
know,
bit.
and
Not one. Hurricane trained Logan Paul, so that doesn't surprise me in any
as
way,
did
shape, or
Shawn
form.
Michaels.
I would
Well
have bet money that Hurricane was at least a producer on this match before.
I'm actually
I would've bet money.
shocked that Shane Helms is even a producer for anything WWE related because
He's good.
I mean, yes, but like keep in mind like the pettiness between Sean and him. I mean that's a whole thing. So I'm like, I'm really
sure they've gotten
I'm really,
past that. I mean,
Well,
like I said,
I'm
if you watch
glad.
the training videos, they're all together in that.
Yeah, in a
You
training
know, and
facility.
then as Josh pointed out to us backstage, the big news coming out: torn meniscus, torn MCL, and potentially an ACL.
So,
Happened
yeah,
halfway
sure,
through
bro.
the match. Logan Paul said he'll keep everyone updated, but you know what? In the words of the tribal chief, I hope all the Logan Paul haters out there will now acknowledge him at the very least, because the man showed up and showed out.
There's no
And-
arguing that. There's
And
no
before
argument
we get
against
more
that.
in depth into this match, let me go ahead and welcome Mikey T to the stream.
Hey, what's up?
What is it, guys? Wow, crazy news about Logan Paul there. I mean, I'm
Yeah, no
looking
kidding.
ACL tear, 6 to 9 months.
Same injury that Bailey had, and I believe the
swear,
same injury
didn't-
that Chris Statlander has to a degree.
Didn't he have a boxing match coming up too? Like that takes him out of whatever boxing match he had. I know he had one planned out. So, damn.
Why
tough
don't
break.
you believe that people thought Logan had a chance, man? I mean, he went out there. When you're being trained by the likes of Shawn Michaels and Shane Helms, you're going to show up and show out.
Gonna
You
try and
know?
stop steal the show. You're gonna try and be the show stopper. He
Did-
even tried to pull up his own sweet.
Yeah,
chin
he
music.
tried to do
That was a
sweet
good
chin
match.
music. Like, did we know that Roman was going to keep the belts? Absolutely. But there has to be that element of doubt.
When
all
Jake
the
Paul
great
walked
heel
there-
champions have it.
The
I was
suspension
talking
of
to
disbelief, JJ. It's the suspension
Yeah.
of disbelief, and Logan Paul made us feel that at least twice, including after hitting his own version of a buckshot lariat.
Yeah. I was talking to James about it before we came on the air, and I sent the link to everybody. It's like
I saw
it,
that.
it takes me back to that Triple H and Taka Michinoku match from 99, 2000, whenever it was. You knew without a shadow of a doubt Taka was not defeating Triple H for that WWF title.
He had a chance, damn it.
But I'll be damned if there weren't a few moments in that match
Where it
where you
looked
were
like
like,
he
holy
would've-
shit, Taka's
Bro,
going to actually take
yeah,
it.
man,
Bro,
And
I-
that is what
Mhm.
Logan Paul did in this match with Roman Reigns.
Man,
There were a couple of moments where you really thought he was going to beat the tribal chief.
it's funny
You
you mentioned that.
suspended your belief.
It's funny you mentioned that because Taka is legitimately and he gave us consent to use his likeness on our show on Weymouth Youth Wrestling. We use that as part of the promo build for his character coming in, him nearly beating Triple H for the WWF title. So like that with when it comes to Logan, I saw the match like minutes before we got onto the air here. It was such a good back and forth that it didn't matter who it was. They made you believe even for a split second. That means they did their job.
Absolutely.
That's the type of stuff that I love,
Well, you saw the part where Jake Paul actually walked in with Logan and he had the championship on his shoulder. I mean, I guess we could talk about it when we get to that match. A couple ideas I had for the Logan, the Paul brothers.
Please don't have Jake Paul come in.
Usos versus the Logan Paul brothers, or the Paul brothers.
Did I not say that to you, Noah, when we were calling the match?
You totally did. You
What
called it. You
would it
totally
be
did.
if the Paul brothers came in and dethroned the Usos?
No.
Aaron's got to change his.
Excuse you?
God, no, please.
King
Well, why
Mike
not
X
just
even
Logan
says it. Will they be doing Usos versus the Paul brothers?
No.
Like,
I wouldn't rule it out at this
Mercy,
point.
no.
What about
I wouldn't rule
Logan
it out.
versus Jake at
I'm
Mania?
dead serious, guys. I'd see KSI before Jake Paul. I'm not even kidding. At least KSI's trained. KSI's at least trained.
I think he's more famous than Logan, though. Like,
Way
these guys have like 30 million followers.
What, Jake Paul or KSI? Because I can tell you, if
No, I'm talking about the Paul brothers.
Logan Paul is more famous in multiple different ventures than his own brother. KSI is the same way. So if there's one person that I think would bring a more net positive to the WWE, it's KSI over Jake Paul. Jake Paul doesn't have any. KSI is the one who called out Jake in the first place, the Paul brothers in the first place. So that's KSI actually beat Logan, right?
Was KSI there tonight?
No.
Okay,
I wish he
that's
was.
what I was hearing was the backup. I was hearing that was the backup. KSI was the backup if Jake did not come.
Yeah, I wish he was the fucking first choice, to be honest. Because
Well, I mean, it's obvious who they're doing business with right now, man. I'm shocked that Jake is actually coming in with how serious his fighting is being taken.
The thing for me is KSI should be they should be looking at him way, way more. And I say that because love him or hate him, I'm actually a huge fan of KSI, but even besides my bias towards him, he could be a great freaking manager, like a Don King for Logan Paul almost. You know what I mean? Like he could cut a bold
take.
Rick Ross
cut a
could be a
damn.
good
I'll
manager.
tell you why. He can cut a damn promo like you wouldn't believe. I've heard KSI on the mic for press conferences and stuff for amateur boxing. He's one of the top guys in the business as far as boxing goes right now in combat sports, period. I don't know how you don't see that and don't bring him in. Like he's money if you pair him up with Logan Paul, even if just in a managerial role. And the thing is, KSI actually has wrestling training as well. There's videos out there where he's done wrestling as well, and he has the same background that Logan does. He even beat Logan in a legit boxing match that made millions of dollars for amateur, and then later went pro in a rematch. So there's a lot more net positive if you bring KSI in, especially if you can get Prime to partner up with WWE. They could sell that. You know how WWE marketing is. They'd sell that like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying it's like KSI I think is a better substitute than Jake. Jake is literally stuck in the boxing bubble. If you don't know boxing, you don't care about Jake Paul.
Well, if the Rock doesn't show up to Mania, we officially got our replacement. It's going to be Jake Paul versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
No.
I'm sorry.
Oh God,
Mikey, I disagree with you. I disagree with you, Mikey. Me and Noah were talking about this during the live stream. And honestly, bro,
you're fired.
Honestly, if The Rock is out, there's only two people who make sense, in my personal opinion.
Cody,
Paul, make it 3.
No. As intense as the storyline has been, it needs to be family related. It's either got to be main event Jey Uso, who's had enough with Roman's bullshit. Because think about it. Who was the first person to fall in line?
Started off
That's
with
how the bloodline started.
Sami Zayn too.
And then the other choice is Sami Zayn.
No!
I got one more.
Those are the only
family?
two that truly make sense if it's not Rocky.
I don't know.
I got one that's family.
Who?
But not their family.
Cody.
But we gotta do a little bit of math for it.
Yeah, it's Cody. I know where you're
Braun
going.
Breaker.
No, he's
Braun Breaker is not WrestleMania ready.
No,
Braun Breaker is better.
Cody is the better choice. I'm telling you. Cody's the better choice.
Time out. I kind of like the fact that you brought Braun Breaker up, because the last thing to discuss really regarding the Crown Jewel portion before we move on was the promo that Bray Wyatt cut.
Yes.
And I went back and I actually wrote down transcript of everything that he said prior to Uncle Howdy interrupting. So give me a few minutes here. I'm going to read through this
Is
all.
that the new gimmick name, Uncle fucking Howdy? Are you kidding me?
Dead serious. Just hold on, James. Roll with me for a second here, okay?
Calm down, man.
Give me a second here. I'm going to read through all this, and then I'm going to go back and highlight something. Here's what Bray said. Here's something a lot of you probably don't know about me, but I come from a very prestigious family, a wrestling family, and some might say they're even larger than life. And so from the time I was a little child, all I ever wanted to be was great. But great wasn't good enough. I had to be greater than the rest of them. I had to be the greatest of them all. At this point, the crowd starts chanting, "Yes, you are. Yes, you are." Bray goes
You're great
back.
to us, damn it.
Bray goes back. "Yes, you are." Well, that's the point, though, right? Is that I did what I needed to do. I gave in. I gave in so much that I made a monster of myself, and I wore that mask with pride. And it didn't take me long to understand that while I was wearing that mask, I no longer felt pain. I no longer could be afraid. In the mask, I was completely untouchable. And that type of thing, it feels good. Some might say sensations like that are just about impossible to quit. And that's how I felt. I found myself in the kingdom of nothingness, sitting on an island by myself. And this monster I had made myself into, he destroyed me. And he ran off everyone that I ever loved. So I sat alone, no one to love me, nowhere to run, alone. At this point, the crowd starts chanting, "We love you, we love you." Bray replies to that. But that's the thing. No one loves me. People love the idea of me. People love the things I'm capable of. I don't even love me. But this doesn't have to be the ending of my story. That is not the man I want to be remembered as. My name is Bray Wyatt, and I am here to rewrite the ending to my story. Okay. At this point, the Uncle Howdy video comes up and interrupts him and starts talking its shit. But the part I want to go back to and highlight is the introduction to this whole promo. Here's something a lot of you probably don't know about me, but I come from a very prestigious family, a wrestling family. And yes, a lot of us do know that he is Wyndham Rotundo, the son of IRS Mike Rotundo, brother Bo Dallas, Uncle Barry Wyndham. So it all makes sense. So here's my proposal to you all.
Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring Mr. Jeff Meacham live at Disneyland in to hear this. And we'll go to him first because we don't know how long he's going to be able to stay with us. But what if this War Games match, that we're being teased of with the Bloodline is Bloodline versus Bloodline? And I know this is a little bit of a stretch because we don't know about the healing process with a couple of these guys. But what if Orton, Breakker, Wyatt, Rhodes, and either Santos Escobar or Charlie Dempsey? Santos Escobar being the son of El Fantasma, the cousin to Fantasma Jr., Uncle Angel de la Muerte, and Charlie Dempsey, of course, being the son of one William fucking Regal.
All right. Oh, it all makes sense then if you put it in that regard because they are all
sons
families
of a dynasty.
Yeah.
What if this is what we're looking at for our match against the Bloodline? And we've been thinking this whole Drew versus and Drew's team. That one line that Bray said in his promo really stuck with me. Jeff, what are your thoughts on this? Since we don't know how long we're going to keep you. You said about 8 minutes.
Yeah, we're now down to about 7 or so. So without knowing I'm having a crown jewel, I will say that I like this basic idea. I think that it'd be a cool swerve. I just like you said, Cody's the healing factor variable because the torn pec. I mean, John returned in 4 months, but that's because he's freaking part Kryptonian. There is that. Everybody else makes sense. I prefer to see Dempsey get it, if for no reason than just to acknowledge Regal, because they haven't acknowledged him as far as who he's tied to. And granted, Regal's on the other side, but everybody in that company loves, respects William Regal. So I say, if you're not going to do the Drew team thing with KO and the moral decision with Sammy, then hell yeah, this is a great option B, if you will.
Mikey T, what do you think about this?
All right, so the guy with the LDF shirt, is that the dude that's with Zelina Vega right now?
Yes, that's Santos Escobar.
Oh, Santos Escobar in this match would be lit. Santos Escobar has a lot of upside. I mean, if we could get Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton back, it would be great for them to team up with Bray Wyatt and then to bring in Braun Breaker. It would just be a really good match. I mean, I really don't know who's going to be on the team. It would be Drew McIntyre, KO, and then I guess the Brawling Brutes, right? So, this would be better than that. But, we're not going to get this because of the fact that Randy Orton's return is it's really
up in the air.
It's really not seeming likely even by January. And Cody Rhodes' return doesn't seem likely until January. And they're keeping that NXT title on Braun Breaker seemingly through to the, what's it called, Deadline, Noah?
Yeah.
Yes,
Deadline.
the next event is NXT Deadline.
And Santos is dope, but he's a heel as well. And he's teamed up with a
how long is that going to last, though?
I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news on this one, but it would be.
I mean, I know it's a shot in the dark here, but I mean, it's like it's the whole way that Bray presented the family aspect, and it's like we think back to Orton and his run with the Legacy, and what he tried to do there, and this almost would be like a modern day one night only Legacy. Because everybody's second, third generation superstars,
Right.
Josh, what are your thoughts on this take?
So, I like it. But what Mikey T was saying, to a point, Cody, Randy, we don't know their timetable of return.
Right.
There's a solution for that, though. Put Santos Escobar and Charlie Dempsey in. There's also one more other wrestler on the roster from a very big wrestling dynasty, Rey Mysterio.
I figure he's still going to be involved as far as the Judgment Day stuff goes.
Yeah, even though he's not right now.
He's not.
He's
not at this moment.
Probably not till the Rumble. I get what Josh is saying there.
They're trying to keep that on ice until the Rumble when Dominic can more than likely eliminate Rey.
Yeah, so I say put Rey in there. Because
possible.
Rey's not going to be involved in whatever Judgment Day match. And let's get this out of the way now. The men's War Games match will not be Judgment Day and Rhea Ripley. They're not going to do that. It will be strictly all men, strictly all women for the matches.
Right.
Let's get. I've seen people suggest that. No, people.
As far as that one goes, I feel that's going to be a traditional Survivor Series match. Not War Games, but an old school traditional Survivor Series match.
Do you need a traditional Survivor Series elimination match, though, when you already got War Games at the forefront of this brand? It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like we're focusing on traditional Survivor Series principles. They're trying to make War Games the main element. I don't think you're going to have both or need both on this event.
I hear that as a fair point, Noah, but my counter to that is the fact that something has to be done about the Ripley factor. And the only way we can guarantee something gets done about the Ripley factor is if Ripley is in the match and can't be on the outside being able to interject herself. And then the Judgment Day or Edge and whatever two people or three people he picks alongside of him, it can be Edge and Beth and two other people to combat the Judgment Day. You know, I just feel like that's how you get rid of the Ripley situations, by taking her away from the outside and putting her into the ring. And especially considering we don't really know where she is physically ever since healing from her brain situation, whatever it was that sidelined her. You put her in a tag match like that where you can kind of hide the weaknesses and accentuate the strengths.
My thing on this is, if you can't put Ray in, then maybe the next best thing is to put in, and I know he's not a family, born from royalty family per se, but it does make sense storyline wise, is put Kevin Owens in there.
Possible.
Makes a lot of sense considering the history that Sammy and him have. So I would put in Kevin Owens if you can't put in Ray.
It's always a possibility, but I've read a bunch of articles about how the Kevin Owens thing has kind of been thrown on the back burner because of the response that Sammy's getting right now.
I don't understand why you need to put it on the back burner, though. You could still continue with Sammy and the Bloodline for as long as you want and still have the feud.
They're about to lose
the next part is
balls.
True.
You know, they're gonna. They're just saying, Josh, they're gonna lose their spots at WrestleMania now to the Pauls potentially. If they might get their WrestleMania match with the Usos pushed back. Not if Logan's injured, but I think maybe he'll be ready.
Logan's injured. Paul Brothers stuff is done. That's not happening because Logan Paul is injured.
If
You
Logan,
say that,
if
Josh,
Logan,
but all that just means that come SummerSlam, Logan will be ready.
Dude,
if Logan,
Roman at Mania, if
Logan is ready. If I was the one booking, I'd make it KSI and Logan versus the Usos, and I just have Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens fight for the U.S. title. Probably.
I like it.
That's my booking, but
that frees Jake Paul up in case The Rock doesn't make it.
True. I mean,
Rock is making it. That is for everything that is being said. Rock and Reigns is solidified for all intents and purposes. Let's just get that out of the way now.
Right.
You're going on an assumption, Josh. You still have a lot of time between now and WrestleMania.
Yeah. There's always that movie that can ruin those plans. I'm just saying.
No, I think Rock's invested in this enough. He himself has said, "No, I'm the head of the table." No, Rock's doing it. There ain't anything stopping this one. Rock knows it's a money match, especially in LA. And if they induct Rock as the Hall of Famer guy, as the lead, what was that, Mikey T?
Jumanji 3. Sounds like about time for them to make Jumanji 3. I know he's not going back to work on the Fast and the Furious because he's actually beefing with Vin Diesel, but Jumanji 3 sounds about time.
Mikey?
I'm sorry, bro.
And just for the record, Mikey, it would technically be Jumanji 4, just the third one with The Rock.
Facts. Hobbs and Shaw Part 2? Hopefully not.
Noah, James, anything else that you want to add to this potential team up to take on the Bloodline? Your thoughts from Bray's promo? And
I think it could go various different ways. I think there's too much story going in to just kind of shoehorn this in.
I completely agree. And the story has yet to
I would do it because it's different, but I think they're going to stick with the continuity aspect as opposed to thinking outside the box with this one. I prefer your idea and then give the other guys something different to do that would be equally beneficial to the card, but it's still WWE. We gotta keep that in mind.
And the thing
that's fair. I mean, for some reason, I was flashing back to that year where it was DX, the Hardys, and CM Punk versus that Survivor Series team. And, bringing Punk up from the ECW roster to be part of the main angle for that. Yeah. Doing the same thing here, bringing Braun Breaker up, potentially bringing up Charlie Dempsey to be part of the main angle for that.
He's too green. Dempsey
one
is
of
too
those
green.
things, JJ.
Breaker
It's
is
one of those
ready.
things, JJ. I just don't see him shoehorning per se or rushing this type of thing when you literally have Survivor Series War Games in 3 weeks. Well, I like your idea of focusing on the aspect of family and looking at literally a battle of multiple bloodlines and legacies playing in part. I feel there's more to that than this here. This is more about Bray Wyatt and his identity, what he wants his story, his history to be known as, what he's trying to write it to be, and how Uncle Howdy's trying to influence it, it seems. And we have yet to see Uncle Howdy manifest in front of us. He's only been maybe just on screen, but maybe he's literally is just inside Bray Wyatt's head. This Bray Wyatt stuff to me feels more so inclusive just to Wyatt rather than including other families. While I think your idea is cool, I don't think WWE would ever pull the trigger on something as far-fetched as that when right now you kind of don't know what the guy out there Phantasma is doing. Braun Breaker's got to do it with Von Wagner, whoever the hell that is. And Charlie Dempsey, I don't even know what he's doing in your freaking NXT. It would just be so random that I don't think the audience would be able to understand it, even if it was traditional Survivor Series. And as far as Bray Wyatt goes, we still need to see who the hell Uncle Howdy is.
Yeah,
I concede that point. It's definitely random, and like I said, I know it's a stretch, especially considering we don't really know the status of Cody or Randy.
Here is another idea.
It was just something that I was thinking based off of that.
It's great wild fantasy booking. I love the aspect of it. It's highly creative. I just don't think WWE would do that.
I got fantasy booking, fan booking my thing. How about this one? I got one for you.
Go ahead, James, and then we'll move on to the next topic.
Bray Wyatt leading the Wyatt family again, and the Wyatt family in this case being the Wyatt Six. You have the reintroduction of whoever you want to be, Sister Abby or whoever, right?
Alexa.
Fair enough.
They lost the titles, so.
True.
There's also a glitch, as JJ alluded to, before their match, and Alexa was looking at the screen. You might be onto something.
Eric Rowan or Redbeard, Braun Strowman, Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas as Uncle Creepy or whatever his name is.
And then
Uncle Howdy.
Uncle Howdy, excuse me.
Uncle Howdy.
Yeah, and my
cousin Curtis.
Little Miss Bliss device went off.
Ooh, cousin Curtis. Oh, Mikey with the good name. Ooh, Mike, yeah, cousin Curtis. Yeah.
Somebody pointed out online after the event was over that notice the way Nikki Cross attacked and cost her former friend Alexa Bliss the match.
Yep.
Much in the same vein of how Alexa turned on Bray.
Should have called that.
Could Nikki Cross be the new female instead of Alexa?
Nikki Cross could be. I could see that. I will say.
Okay, but to counter that point, what the hell is Liv Morgan becoming?
Who knows?
Herself. I think it's going to be more so.
Why not all three? You need a tag team for the females. Build your damn female tag division.
When are we going to get
heel boy
in this Survivor Series match? How? Like, what is this? When is the Survivor Series pay-per-view? It's got to be
3 weeks.
It's Saturday, November 26th.
Okay,
damn it!
so
The Saturday after Thanksgiving.
a week after full gear.
Yes.
Yeah, this coming a week from today is the NWA Hard Times. The week after that is Full Gear. The week after that is Survivor Series. Then we get a week off. Then we get Final Battle and Deadline.
What's the Hard Times main event? Trevor Murdoch or something?
Trevor Murdoch versus Matt Cardona versus Tyrus for the NWA World Championship.
Versus who? Who's the third?
Zack
person?
Ryder.
Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona.
Right. But
Who's the other guy?
Tyrus, the former Funkasaurus in WWE.
Oh,
Brodus Clay.
Brodus Clay.
Yes, aka now Fox News anchor.
Okay, all right. You have one more match to sell me on that pay-per-view. I think you said it was called Hard Kill.
Hard times, brother.
Hard
and
times.
that's not. And my match is solely.
NWA's falling on hard times. All right.
They've always been falling on hard times. You kidding me? The only thing that's going for them is the women's division with 1X Camille defending the Burke against freaking Kylan King, and now Chelsea Green. It's been turned to a triple threat.
Oh, Chelsea Green. All right, that's cool. Matt Cardona's girlfriend is actually working with them. Okay, that's interesting.
Wife.
Well,
but yes.
Matt Cardona's, are they married yet? I think they are, right?
Yes, they are.
Yes.
Matt Cardona's wife might not be sticking around there any much longer. If the internet tweets are to be believed, she is big dub bound.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
We'll believe it when we see it. We try
is
not to
believing.
believe everything we read on the internet.
Or everything I hear, Josh Mansfield.
Hey, we both fell for that fake Sheamus Noah thing.
That really pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie.
JJ, did you send that knowing it was fake?
I did not know it was fake. I saw it and I was like, dude, okay, this is pretty cool.
Freaking Rick Roll.
But then as soon as I found out it was fake, I was like, aha, Josh fell for it because he stole it from our group chat, posted it in all the NoDQ group chat.
I felt like a fucking dumbass, you dumbass.
Damn it! What was that flyer? It was Sheamus versus who?
I don't remember. Some New Japan guy.
Yeah, Minoru Suzuki versus Sheamus.
Oh, that would have been so good.
That would have been sick. I'd love to see
Damn it, JJ! Damn it!
Cool. Hey, listen, you can't win them all. We're at least getting Shinsuke versus Muda, so you know.
Exactly.
Which is-
Moving on.
Please.
Moving on, we've got a little bit more WWE stuff to touch on. This week they announced the WrestleMania weekend stuff.
Oh Lord.
I'm gonna do my best, y'all, to try to be there for SmackDown Hall of Fame and stand and deliver. I know I can't get tickets for Mania. They're just way too overpriced at this point.
Really?
But man, I regret not going to the Hall of Fame when it was out here in 2005 for WrestleMania 21. I refuse to miss the Hall of Fame again. So go to SmackDown, see the Bloodline, see Drew McIntyre, see Ronda Rousey, and get to see the Hall of Fame ceremony also. I think that's a good night. I feel like that's worth it. And then to actually get to go out and support my NXT, especially if some of the people that I've really gotten into on that show are still with the brand, being heavily featured, whether it's Bronathan Breaker as champion, whether it's Toxic Attraction, Cora Jade, getting to see maybe Ilya Dragunov and Jordan Devlin, JD McDonough. That would be awesome to get to witness that in person.
Ilya Dragunov is the absolute. Give that man everything.
How do you get right now? I'm recovering.
Hot on the heels of the success of Crown Jewel today, this past week, Triple H surpassed his 100 days being in control of the WWE.
Wow.
All hail
So
the game.
I wanted to go around the table here and maybe really quickly, 2 minutes or less if we can, so that we don't harp too long. Pros and cons of the Triple H administration here. How do you feel that he's done? What grade would you give him on a report card since he took over? Josh, we'll start with you.
I give him an A-.
Where do you think he needs to improve?
Josh.
What was that, Mikey T?
Can you at least give us your reasoning before giving us the grade? You're like, I'm gonna give him an A.
The grade.
Real quick. I will be talking about this as well, but I just need to go to the bathroom. So,
Okay, go for it, James. We'll come to you last.
Great, Josh.
A-. Because
okay. Why do you give him that?
The matches have been amazing. Things seem more genuine. There seems to be more energy, more life, more actual. You can tell that the wrestlers actually give a fucking shit. Minus because some of the booking decisions I've been a bit off on, but I'm trusting Triple H there. And no Chelsea Green over Emma. I'm not sorry.
I agree. Love me a hot mess. Also, she's a better wrestler.
Is she that good?
Yes. And what he's done in making the U.S. title and the Intercontinental title feel special again. He's fixing so much of what Vince had wrong, and seeing him punish Austin Theory is just entertaining. Like I said, I want Austin Theory to now again. WWE has been listening to you, JJ, because they've been tossing around the idea apparently of having Austin Theory wait the whole year and cash in at Money in the Bank next year. They've been listening to you, Mr. Renegade.
Oh,
Now,
I know.
again,
It has been well documented that the higher ups in Stamford, Connecticut have paid attention to the NoDQ.com shows, the Casa D18 Studios shows, the Jeff Meacham Network shows for a very long time.
And this was confirmed WrestleMania weekend in 2016 when both the owner of this specific channel, Mr. Jeffrey McMeacham, and No DQ bossman Aaron Rift had to get their heads shaved because Matt Cardona is a very beautiful man. And I predicted that, man. And I will never let that down.
We have gotten it on good authority from people that we know within the confines of the E that there are executives that know mine and Jeff's names. And I will leave it at that.
Hi, WWE executives. Hey, Triple H, can you please bring Shane back now? I want Shane back, please.
Mikey T, what are your thoughts on the Triple H era? What do you think you would give a rating, like a report card, report card radio here? What is the grade for Mr. Hunter Hearst Helmsley?
So tonight when I was just I was like thinking about that because I saw that this was one of the topics, us going over his first 100 days. And I was thinking about that when the main event was happening. And I was like, wow, all this entrance music during the main event, all these interferences, this is some straight up WCW shit. And, Aaron has been making a big point of it in all of his reviews recently, how it's like the same repetitive finishes one after another. And a lot of the finishes coming from outside interference. Or, you know what I mean? Whereas back in the day, it would be a disqualification. Now they're just going ahead with the finish, but with the interference. A lot of it, the booking is kind of reminding me of WCW-esque shit from Triple H. It's obviously brought to us in a better light. You know what I mean? All the production value is a lot better to it. So we're just going to have to continue to watch what Triple H does. I mean, I question things like Josh was saying, the Intercontinental title, the U.S. title. I do respect what he did with those titles. Why wasn't Gunther versus Rey Mysterio at Crown Jewel? Was it because of the fact that they wanted to get a ratings bump, on SmackDown? Was it to, impress the execs at Fox or something like that? I can respect that, but why was the IC title, all right, the U.S. title? Also, they did a disservice to the U.S. title with the whole Bobby Lashley thing. You know what I mean? So right now, I'm only giving Triple H's era pretty much like I'm giving him a Daniel Bryan B+ rating right now, to be honest with you. He needs to figure out how he wants to end matches. Why the fuck did Solo Sikoa get entrance music at the end of that finish at the pay-per-view? It made absolutely no sense. It was almost like Tony Khan level bad of like shutting lights off, having that random ass person take off his mask when it was Sting. They could have had Jeff Jarrett take off the mask and it would have made some sense to us that have been watching since 99, 97 and shit like that. We would have understood it. Like, wow, this guy's actually he actually deserves the Meltzer Award for the third time in a row. But no, he gives us the most random person, or he gives us a former NBA player that the majority of the people don't know. So Triple H needs to get his shit together right now, you guys. I'm gonna be real with you, man. He needs
Fair
to,
enough.
especially what he just did with those tag team titles as well. Dakota Kai and I knew he did. I should have hit Noah and be like, Noah, I know Triple H is just doing this. I think I probably did hit Noah and say it. I hit one of my friends. I'm like, Triple H is doing this I must have hit the Cleaver, Colin. He's doing this to get a title change in Saudi Arabia. He did it but I got to say one more note. Saudi Arabia crowd was off the hook tonight from all the cheering.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were. And those aerial shots that the drones gave us, me and Noah commented on them a couple times, man. Just looking at that sea of fans there in Saudi Arabia, it was a beautiful sight to behold. And that image in of itself is why we here on the Jeff Meacham Network and the Multiverse of Media went ahead and covered this show.
Yeah.
James, I know you haven't been watching on a weekly because of what wrestling has been doing to your mentality, but if you could give Triple H's era and what you've seen of it a grade and go ahead and explain your reasoning behind it, what would you give Triple H?
I think I can. I don't think it's a secret that I have been praising Hunter and I've also been critical of Hunter. There are points where he shows brilliance. One of which being where he lets wrestlers go out there, cut the promos they want to cut. Things that come to mind on that. Johnny Gargano's promo, Bray Wyatt's promo, heartfelt promos that weren't scripted, you could tell, and they were beautiful. They were really good. Just in general, the comedic strides of the entire bloodline with Sami Zayn and company, you could tell none of that's scripted. Although you could make the argument that it probably wouldn't have been scripted in Vince's WWE either because he was riding high on Reigns and he didn't really have a choice because Roman left him with none. But you could tell there's been a lot less of a filter in that regard.
James, I think he's kind of dropping the ball on Johnny Gargano, though, man.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I don't know what's going on with that.
Not to take you off from that, but
I think mainly. But again, I was about to get to that. Then there's the Dexter Lumis Miz stuff, which is on and off. You have the freaking
Dexter's all right.
Ciampa. I have no idea where the hell Ciampa is.
Injured.
You would think he would factor into that storyline somehow.
He's injured.
He's injured.
There you go.
I thought he was getting repackaged.
Yeah, well, it's looking like we're getting DIY versus those two.
I wish.
The other two.
Give me DIY versus the Usos. Let DIY do the thing.
I would love that. I would love that way more than the Paul brothers, to be fair. But
too many opponents for the.
I'm not even including Paul brothers in that because that's just an insult to wrestling.
They
agree.
There's also, and I mentioned this last week, so if you want to go, but I'll mention it briefly here. The women's tag division is abysmal. The structure of the women's division right now is a bit off. If Bayley didn't win the title, which makes no sense. So
hold on, what?
Yeah.
Bayley did not win the title, right?
No, she didn't.
No,
Bianca's still going.
It didn't make sense for Bayley to win the title because Bayley has pinned Bianca twice, and now Bianca has gotten 2 victories over her, last woman standing and ladder match. So now it's 2 up.
Yeah.
One more title match left. Just like with, Triple H and Batista 2005.
So what? Is this just going to be a best of 7 series at this point?
Might as well be.
Hey, we waited since last July for this when Bayley went out when they were going to have the original I Quit match.
But let's also be honest, James. They're building Bianca up for the final boss. Woo! Yeah, you know what's happening.
I know.
Gotta be
I know. But again, and to Mikey's thing, it's already happened. So I'm gonna be probably the harshest on this, but I give it a C+, man. Dead ass. Fair. Because there are some moments of brilliance there, but then there's points where he's just dropping the ball. I think a lot of it has to do with him feeling that he's got a lot of pressure, one. I mean, you would imagine you have a lot of pressure on you when you kind of take the creative reins of a company that your father-in-law helped build for 40 years. So there is that as well. The other part is his freaking pettiness. And I mean this with all sincerity. He stops worrying about AEW and actually tries to do, just work with them instead of being petty about crap with them. He will be a lot better off. And the same goes vice versa with Tony and him worrying about AEW, man. I think if those companies just work on their own shit and actually get better, it would be way better. They both would be way better off. So I think that's the main problem why it's a C grade to me. I think they need to. I'm with you, Mikey. I think they really need to get it together, and I probably gave a harsher grade than you did, to be honest.
Why did Samoa get entrance music at the end of the show?
That too.
I don't know. I thought it was a little
WCW.
off too, but it just was what it was. Maybe they didn't think that the crowd would know who was coming out without the entrance video and everything, since he's still kind of new to the main roster. It's the only thing I can really think of. Noah, what are your thoughts on Triple H's regime, and what grade do you give him?
There's definitely been a different feel when I think about the product and the motivation of the workers. But booking wise, the weekly content, particularly Raw, still feels like a lot more of the same. Repetitive nature, distraction, interference-based finishes, and kind of standstill storytelling. The biggest pet peeve I definitely have, again, is the fact that they still have not figured out how to sell this idea of women's tag team wrestling, and they don't have a key focus on Monday Night Raw. While they've raised the value of the mid-card division on both brands, the U.S. Intercontinental titles, there still is work to actually build more of a depth when it comes to challengers for both of those pictures, and better.
Same thing with the men's tag division. You could throw the tag division for the men right in there.
Well,
too,
the fact that the tag division is not merged, considering you have the two sets of titles literally on one team defined as the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, is another thing in itself. And I even talk about, again, one of the biggest flaws in WWE is tag team wrestling. And while I do think they focus more on the wrestling aspect of things now on Raw and SmackDown, there still is a lot more of that showcasing sports entertainment type showcasing they try to focus on to please the networks or draw a pop and maybe draw on a random person that's never seen WWE before. Why I do believe WWE can be in a brighter light going forward under Triple H's regime, it's been a rocky start. He brought a lot of great names back that we knew had potential. He's trying to make the mid-card feel more important, and he's trying to do something with, I guess, the women's tag team division. But again, there really is no depth. There really feels like there is no direction. But Classic Casual was pretty good. This Crown Jewel show was not that bad. You're definitely seeing more of a mainstream focus when it comes to who they want to put in the spot more. I think I would give Triple H probably overall, based on what I've seen so far, not how it's started, what it's become, a solid B. At this point, he needs to try and do more with the United States Intercontinental Championships on actual big shows, the premium live events, the pay-per-views, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And as far as that tag team division, you got to figure out something else besides the Usos at the forefront of everything. Because there really is no other teams at this point. We're going to just rerun the Usos versus the New Day 475 at this point. Come on now. And if I hear, because I listen to Aaron Riff, if I hear another Raw full of nothing but interference-based finishes, what the hell are you all watching every week on Monday night? So for me, it's a B.
Yeah. Here's another thing. Here's a recommendation. Why not just put people in charge of certain divisions? Like this whole idea of there's a general manager of there's a commissioner of the WWE official, in kayfabe. Why not just make a general manager or authority figure for each division for work and for on screen? Why not take
that's
that?
A fair take. That's a fair take. You could take some of the match producers
on their creativity to do that. And that might be another thing. Why the morale might be up in the locker room. I feel there's a new level of contempt of how deep the pockets of WWE is.
I think, but here's my thing with that. You could still be creative. You need that person, and to make everything make sense and work it within continuity's sake, which is what I think is missing in a lot of these divisions. Like, you get it in the main event, like, you know, you can make it a producer type thing. Like, hell, you know, Paul Heyman can produce the main events, for example, and then you have, you know, freaking somebody like Adam Pearce, you know, produce for the mid cards, and you know, I'm just giving examples here. Like Mickie James runs the women's tag division, while some other women, you know, maybe Molly Holly runs the main event women's division or something of that nature. You know, again, throwing names out there.
Tyson.
The thing
Tyson,
about that is
yeah,
all of that, James, it's pretty much like a sideshow to what the WWE is doing. You know what I mean? That's why I was saying they're throwing on their Intercontinental title as their main event of a SmackDown event. They're building towards these big events like Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul. They were they were trying to build towards Roman Reigns versus Matt Riddle. It didn't do what it did. They took Roman Reigns off the pay-per-view at Money in the Bank. They put it on SmackDown. The next big one they're going to try to build towards is probably a Royal Rumble one, like we were talking about last week. But the next big one is going to be The Rock, you know, hopefully.
Allegedly.
You know? But I just want to say that, you know, we do notice something changing on WWE programming, you know, with Triple H. It's becoming a little bit more, there's a little bit more integrity behind it when we're looking at the characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You realize that Dakota Kai isn't just going to lose her match in a minute and a half. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That was one of the things I was going to touch on when I gave my speech about Triple H's. The very first thing I noticed about Triple H's take on the company was match lengths went up. He actually allowed the talent to go out there, tell stories, get moves off without trying to smush a title match into 3 minutes and 15 seconds with a commercial break.
Yep.
He's actually given people 20, sometimes 30 minutes to go out there and tell the story and get the match over, and especially if it's a championship match.
Friday,
You
that
know?
IC title match.
Yeah,
Gunther versus
absolutely.
Ray.
That Gunther Rey Mysterio match was solid.
Can't argue
And
that.
and I think
I watched it.
and
Can't
I
argue
think
that.
that might be part of why the IC and US titles still haven't been too prominent on the PLEs, is because with Roman Reigns still being the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, with Roman Reigns not being on every single show because he's part-timer, and definitely with Roman Reigns not defending the belts on a Monday Night Raw and a SmackDown on a consistent basis, you need those championships to be your show anchors. And that is what he has done with the IC and US titles, making them more prominent again, making it to where those champions can be main eventers. You look at the champions, Seth freaking Rollins and Walter.
Yep.
Right.
Two guys that definitively can main event, close out a show, send people home happy the weeks when you don't have the Usos there to defend their undisputed tag titles. Because without question, that's going to be the main event Friday. But Gunther isn't scheduled to have a match on Friday. Walter's not defending his title.
What's
he
the
did
main
that
event?
this week. It's going to be the New Day versus the Usos. If the Usos win, then they will break the New Day's record come Raw the following week.
There's the only issue that you have at that point is if you don't put these titles more often on the PLEs, right?
Right.
Eventually, the goal is, if they stick with this bloodline thing long enough, is that Sami Zayn and Sikoa are going to get the other two titles. And then they're probably going to be on the PLEs. It's going to make it look like the champions prior weren't good enough to be on PLEs at all. And I think that's inherently an issue. I think you don't have to have both titles on a PLE. If you want to freaking rotate them per event, that's fine too. But there should be some structure to these titles, I think. And I don't think,
and that's the word and that's the key thing I feel that still is missing at the end of the day. You need some sort of structure, some sort of, picture of challengers for each of these titles in their divisions. And while you might have set up a one-off particularly for the Intercontinental, what are you going to do next is what I'm wondering.
Well, if what James is saying is to be believed, and I apologize for cutting you off, Josh, but I wanted to finish my thoughts on Triple H's thing and give my rating since we haven't gotten there yet. But
you're great.
If what James is said to be believed, then the only realistic way that you can do this is to have Sami Zayn dethrone Seth Rollins and Solo Sikoa dethrone Walter.
Which I could believe both.
But as far as the way Triple H is done,
the Usos.
As far as the way I feel Triple H is done, like I said, the first thing I noticed was the increase in match length. The storytelling, like you guys touched on the promos, a lot of what you guys said, I echo those sentiments, so I don't want to sit here repeating too terribly much. But I would probably give Triple H a solid B+ as well. There's definitely some room for improvement. I don't think you need to bring back every talent that Vince got rid of.
No.
I understand why you're bringing back some specific ones that didn't really get a fair shake, and I'm down with that. But I think there needs to be a ceiling. Take an old tag team. There needs to be a bar set, and we don't cross that as far as what talents we bring back, because we don't want to over-influctuate the roster again to where we then have to start cutting other people to make room for all the people you brought back.
That's true.
And I echo Keen Mike X's statement. Please don't bring back Eva Marie.
Oh, please no.
God, will you stop mentioning her name?
The only thing she's good at, and she's barely good at this, is being a valet. That would be the only way I can tolerate her.
Why is she always gassing people that she's coming back to the WWE? She was in a movie recently, so does she have some sort of existing?
She's better in movies.
Huh?
I feel she's just throwing the community. She's probably just
We won't talk about what type of movies.
Oh, not those type of movies.
No, she was in a Nick Cage movie too. You didn't see that one?
No, I don't think so.
She's actually a pretty decent action actor, which is funny because she can't translate that in the ring.
She's always gassing people that she's coming back though. But
because she knows she gets heat for it, she knows that the fans don't really care about her.
That's fair.
So anytime that she does that, it's going to get publicity. It's going to get traction.
At the end of the day,
there's no such thing as bad publicity.
You draw attention to yourself. If you draw attention to yourself for the internet, you must be doing something right. So there you go.
I'm sorry, Josh. Didn't you have some shit to say, bro?
Yeah, but going back to what James is saying about the two secondary titles, here's the thing we still have to remember. WWE is streaming all their stuff on Peacock now, not their own network. Peacock has given WWE a time restriction for their pay-per-views or PLEs.
How long is
They can only get a certain amount of time, so you can't just have a pay-per-view be all title matches and nothing else.
I agree.
That's the thing. That's why you're seeing mostly the U.S. title and their Intercontinental title on TV mostly, but they have been getting more prominent, viewed either way under Triple H than they were Vince McMahon. But that's the thing.
My thing with that is
that there is a time constraint.
To
they need the
counteract
other storylines to be prominent.
To counteract your point, though, Josh, as amazing of a match as it was, and as great of a showing as the loser of this match had, did we really need Braun Strowman versus Omos?
Yes.
Or could we have had that on SmackDown?
No.
And put one of the titles in its place.
Yeah,
realistically.
No, without they were doing the storyline. No, it needed to be on the PLE. If you're building up the two biggest monsters in the WWE right now, it needs to be on PLE.
They did
Okay.
Big
As much
Show
as I
and
am
friggin'
not
Braun
an
Strowman
Omos
on Monday
fan,
Night
as much as
Raw.
I'm absolutely not an Omos fan.
They didn't put
This
Strowman
match
versus
did need to be
Otis
on
on
PLE.
PLE.
Yeah, well, that here's the thing. Okay, there's one exception to that rule that you just brought. All right, I'm not saying you have to have every PLE as title matches. You don't, right? You could skip on some title matches every now and again. All right, but the one consistent thing that always should have been the case is the Big Four should have all title matches, especially if you're going to do 2 night events. So
That's fair.
There's no excuse that you can't do it there.
And personally, I
maybe
feel like
the only
this show-
exception be in Survivor Series. So maybe Big 3, fine.
Maybe
right?
Elimination Chamber and the IC or US champion is in the chamber match.
Yes.
Maybe that being the only exception.
But
I disagree with the Rumble specifically because there's 2 big Rumble matches, each an hour at length on their own. And again, WWE is time constrained with Peacock, so no.
And that's
Yeah,
fine.
they work around that.
That's fine, but yeah, exactly.
There are
If
exceptions.
there's a will, there's a way. I don't
There's
think
a
they're
wallet.
trying to explore all the exactly. I don't think they're exploring all their ways here. That's number
Personally speaking, I think it would have been a nice touch to at least have the Intercontinental Championship on the show
Yes.
tonight.
Okay.
Since they were on a different continent,
Thank you.
it would have
Mhm.
been defended on another continent and added just a little bit more prestige to that championship.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like you got the U.S. title, which you could defend every other show, and you could have the Intercontinental Championship defended on international shows.
All right, but
Yeah.
guys, it's
Any
kind of
pay-per-view
obvious.
PLE that is in the continental US, you have the US title, and when they do
Yep.
their shows in the UK, in Canada,
In
in
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi, you make sure that the IC title is featured.
There
Yeah,
you go.
but it's kind of obvious. I was thinking about it as you were saying it, JJ. You know, as good as the Rey Mysterio and the Gunther match was, it's kind of obvious who was going to win that match. If they did Seth Rollins and Ali, it's kind of obvious. They went back and did the Usos versus the Brawling Brutes because they realized they missed out on money not doing that at Clash of the Castle. So they double backed and had a. How was that match? Was it any good or was it a waste of time? I feel like
Which one?
I feel like the Usos and the Brawling Brutes would probably be a better match than either of the Intercontinental or the U.S. title match, just as far as pacing.
You are
It
way
was
out of Crazyville.
No. The Brawling Brutes and the Usos was definitely a solid match.
I
It
love that
definitely
match,
had,
actually.
it definitely fit in considering that Roman was in the main event to have the Usos third, go from the Usos to the women's title to Roman.
And the Usos,
Definitely
of course,
fit.
took out Sheamus, and of course, there's continuity there. So
But at the same time, you very easily could have had the Usos versus the Brutes on Raw, and then the
They did it
Usos
on
versus the New
SmackDown
Day on
last time.
SmackDown.
No, they did it on SmackDown last time before Clash of the Castle.
Right.
So there was really no point for the match. But I mean, I really just feel like Gunther and Ray and Seth and Ali are just really just too obvious. And I don't
Maybe.
even think. I think Usos and Braun Brutes just excite the crowd a little bit more.
Yeah,
Agreed.
that's fair.
I
So-
want to also put this in perspective as well. There's a way that you could have titles mean something as well. Like it's you should take the things that you're given and not necessarily get rid of them, but see if there's a way you can make them work. Like this is an idea that came to my head. If you want to make your shows feel different, why not rebrand the 24/7 title to be a television title? Give it to somebody that can take some prestige with it and rebrand the whole thing entirely,
To the women.
and have him be a fighting, defending champion, fighting every week on television.
Open
And
challenge.
that's specifically on television, not even on PLE, right?
Yep.
Right.
It's
Television
like your
championship.
own little division there. So
It's an interesting point that you bring up, James, and Mikey T hit the nail on the head. I've read some interviews recently where Dana Brooke, the current 24/7 champion holder, is trying to get the belt rebranded as a mid-card championship for the women.
That's not
I
a bad
respect
idea
that.
either. Women's
He's a damn
television
better design, though.
championship.
That's for damn sure.
Women's television championship would not be a bad idea.
She's trying to make it more of an intercontinental style second championship, but still like a secondary title for the women. That way, when you've got Bianca, who's looking like she's going to go on a year run, Mania to Mania, you've got someone dominant like Ronda Rousey, who, although we've seen her be beaten, is pretty unbeatable when she gets on a roll. You've got a belt that
Dana
a Raquel Rodriguez or a Shotzi Blackheart or a Natalia can be the champion for.
Well, now Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey, they're together, so you can throw that out the window for now.
You just said that, Daniel.
Well, that's the thing, though. That's
you just
the
said
thing.
that.
I think that's kind of the idea, though. Like, if Dana cannot be the one to do it, she could introduce it, but the person that carries it has to be after her. I think Shayna Baszler would be that candidate because then the teammates, Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey, are now holding belts. You know,
which that's a fair point, and I think now would be the time to do it. Unfortunately, it's the right time to do it specifically because Truth is injured with a big injury.
They need to get rid of them.
Just from NXT, he's injured.
Somehow.
Yeah,
he took a very bad fall.
Damn,
he took a bad bump in his match against Grayson Waller. Much respect to R-Truth for going down there, attempting to put Grayson over. Get better soon, Truth.
Yeah, they had to stop the match. They had to stop at mid-match.
Yeah, the year of injuries continue.
Injury? Is it a leg injury or a?
Yeah, I think it was a leg or a knee injury.
Yeah. On that, guys, I'm gonna have to bow out.
No worries, Josh.
It's getting late over here. Yes. Also, remember, fall back tonight with your clocks. We gain an extra hour, but I am still about to clonk out because I've been up since 8:30 or so. And so for me, thank you to Renegade for this. The No DQ's Cleveland Combatant. Follow me on Twitter at CatholicJosh122. Instagram, MaloMangram. You can find my columns on NoDQ, my most recent one being the Crown Jewel Predictions column. And we'll see what other things I start cooking up. Because I'm behind on 2 columns I've been wanting to do, but I just have not had the chance to get them done.
Time can be your worst enemy.
Yeah,
exactly.
So,
Josh, thank you for joining us as always. We will catch you next time, my friend. Have a good night. Enjoy church tomorrow.
Yeah, I got choir practice, so see you guys.
See you,
bye, Josh.
See you next time.
So,
but yeah, the bottom line is this: the women definitely could use something that just focuses on the television product. Now, whether or not it's across both TV products, maybe in sequence times, versus constantly, or they focus on that one thing. Maybe this will be the focal point that Raw needs to fill that void of no top spot. Okay, let's make a TV-centered, focused, talent-driven roster for the women. I respect Dana Brooke's ambition, but they need a better-looking championship, and Dana Brooke, I don't think, can be the person to literally define this.
Well, no, she definitely wouldn't be the person. They would need somebody else. JJ, no disrespect to Dana.
Flip out. She just had that freak out. Don't you guys remember where she was like, y'all are going to respect me. I'm sick of this bullshit. It was some freak out that was reported on a bunch of social media sites. I think she could be the person for this to reinstate a new title for the women. It could be the right time. She could be the perfect person because
with the right motivation, the right packaging, maybe. But I'm still going to have a suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, I'm not sold until they change her presentation on the television.
Yeah.
I always looked at her back in the day when NXT first started and she was marketed as the strongest woman. I looked at her with a lot of respect, but then.
Well, yeah, but let's be honest. Triple H kind of dropped the ball on that one too. I mean,
look, Triple H can't do everything. All right.
Yeah.
What was it? Just that Dana Brooke isn't that good in the ring or something? She wasn't able.
I think it was a combination of all faults. Really, I don't really. I mean, yeah, Dana has to bear some responsibility there. I mean, it's funny too because she's actually gotten better in the ring. Believe it or not, she wasn't good back then. Let's be real. But like now, she was green as goose shit back then. But now she's actually gotten a lot better. And the problem is her matches where you can see the progress she's made are on fucking Saturday night's main event.
Which no one watches because it doesn't exist in most people's eyes.
All right, so moving on, we got a little bit of WWE television news this week in the fact that Bianca Belair and Montez Ford are going to be getting their own TV show on Hulu.
I think that
I have a feeling this is going to be very much in the same vein as Ms. and Mrs.
No doubt.
And I am honestly here for it. These two, if you follow their Instagram and their social media, number one, they're just so damn cute together.
They're cool.
That it's going to be instant ratings.
That's fair.
And then number two, it just goes back to what I've been saying about Bianca for the longest time. She is the face of the WWE Women's Division. Has been since she won the Rumble last year. This is just further proof of that. They're taking essentially the Miz and Mrs., the total divas, total Bellas aspect,
Cody Rhodes,
and they're doing a Montez and Bianca story with it. And I hope this ends with them becoming a power couple on television.
There's potential. I mean, Seth Rollins has faced Montez Ford in singles match, and Bianca Belair, she's already made her own name for herself, all on her own. And originally, when she was brought into the WWE Raw picture, she was with the Street Profits, which right now we haven't even seen high or tail of them. So at the end of the day, you're getting a different aspect of Bianca Belair and Montez Ford. So I'm sure it's going to draw more eyes, and we've already seen how encouraging Bianca Belair has been to younger women. And we'll see how much Montez Ford's personality can connect with other people. So kudos to them. It can only mean brighter, better things for both.
I agree.
Absolutely. And, Ryan's addressing the elephant in the room. Will this end with them in its heels?
I'll tell you exactly why it won't. Because it's not Tony Khan producing the fucking show.
That's
honestly,
I'll be honest
I would not be opposed to it ending with them in heels, because if you look at some of the pictures that they post on their social medias, it definitely gives off heelish vibes.
There's too much marketing on them as baby faces, JJ.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and that's the reason they won't do it. But I mean, this very easily could turn into something the level of King Booker and Queen Sharmell if they played it right.
Yeah, keyword if.
And with Triple H with the pen, I could see him playing it right. But coming back to what you just touched on, Noah, and what I've said for a long time about Bianca, she is the female John Cena right now.
Yeah.
She is that face for the division. She is that media personality that everybody wants on their shows.
Yep.
She goes to the NFL and does stuff on their shows with Pat McAfee. Granted, there's that connection from the familiarity with him in WWE, but she goes there and does that. She is that female face that is very much the Super Cena media counterpart at this point in time. And WWE does not want to lose that money.
Yeah, the only thing she doesn't do at this point is cheap pop for insert town name here and freaking get polarizing chants of Bianca sucks.
Yeah, she
needs to
she is, for all intents and purposes, the new Cena of the company. You look at the girls, you go on the social medias, you look at how many girls dressed as Bianca Belair for Halloween.
Yeah,
there was a bunch of them in her Instagram story because they would post them, they would tag her, and she would reshare it. It was adorable. There was over a dozen little girls on her story that were dressed like the EST for Halloween. That speaks volumes.
Yeah, man. Like she's a megastar type thing here. My thing is this, and this is more to RYN in the chat here. All your comments is this is how I go about this. All right, perception can be reality, but let's talk about the way WWE conveys their perception, right? With their 2 reality shows that we have seen from them, you've had your people that were just not well liked on Total Divas, but a large majority of them came out better on the other side.
Agreed.
A lot of them did.
Who wasn't
right?
like on Total Divas, James?
Huh?
Eva Marie.
Exactly my point.
I think people liked her segment.
Nia
Jax.
But
Nia Jax.
Well, here's the thing. Nia Jax was not
kind of
doomed
wild
because
on
of
the
Total
show.
Divas. No. Nia Jax is also a success story because she was not doomed by Total Diva. She doomed herself. And nothing to do with Total Divas.
Yeah, she was doomed for her work rate, not because of Total Divas.
So everybody, for the most part, a good majority of people on Total Divas that appeared on Total Divas came out better on the other side. By proxy, Miz and Mrs. There were already heels, but there was a lot of people in WWE that really, really liked them and came to respect them as people after the show aired. Believe it or not. There was a lot of people that were fans of Miz and Maurice afterwards. So that's how WWE produced it. You know how AEW produced Roads to the Top? The complete opposite, and showed all the negative traits instead of the goddamn positives. Dude, they produced that shit like what was it? What was a reality show on USA with the freaking rich snobby ass family? I forget the name.
Oh, the Chrisleys.
The Chrisleys. They produced the Roads to the Top like the Chrisleys. Now, I personally like the show. I didn't see anything wrong with a lot of what they did, but the stuff that they did show that was a lot of negativity, it showed its ugly head. Like all the worst traits that Brandy had, all the worst traits that Cody had, all showed on that show. You didn't really see much. You had your issues in Miz and Maurice, but very rarely do they not work their shit out with the people involved.
Yeah, probably because it's a more complete television show. And
Miz and Mrs. for all intents and purposes is like a 30-minute sitcom. There may be an issue that arises during the episode, but you know everything's going to be worked out by the time they go off the air.
Without the canned laughter in the audience.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. With Total Divas, like they had the whole they had their matches or whatever, and they showed what was going on in the back or whatever. But that was very rare compared to how Roads to the Top was produced. Roads to the Top was basically showing the behind the scenes of how really the early signs of turmoil that was going on behind the scenes in the locker room.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Let's be honest.
He was like, "What? You didn't get the weight? What's Big Show doing with that weight?"
Right.
Oh
they showed.
Yeah, it looks
you had no resolution. If something goes bad in wrestling and it just goes tits up, right? You can't find a resolution in that. People tune into reality shows, however crappy that most of them are. They tune in to see the beginning of the fight, the mid of the fight, and then the resolution at the end. That is the tried, tested fucking formula of every reality show ever. It's why Jersey Shore, as trashy as that show was successful for so many years, right?
Yeah.
So that is the difference between how Rose to the Top happened and what this show can do for Bianca and Montez. There's big differences on how WWE produces their reality TV. Big time.
Well, I want to point out that
that comment says everything right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
His
So
cousins watch Miz's TV show and they don't watch the WWE.
And that's the point of these shows. Bring people in to know these personalities, and maybe they will be influenced enough to see what they actually do on what they're truly known as being WWE superstars.
Yep.
I do want to address this elephant in the room comment real quick from Emmanuel. Bianca's over Sasha at this point as the bigger draw in TV power. That's a very hot take, and I almost would agree with that. Almost. Get at me when Bianca is part of the Star Wars universe.
I'm about to say, Bianca
Disney.
has yet to go beyond the WWE bubble to what has become pretty much the evolution of WWE superstar. You do some work in the ring, and then you go off and do stuff in Hollywood for Disney. Bianca,
you've got Sasha as part of the Mandalorian. You've got her on the red carpets for Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
You've got her on the red carpets for other Marvel stuff that Disney's producing. When Bianca gets to that status, you'll have a point.
Mikey T, you wanted to say something, by the way.
That plays into what I was saying, JJ, as well, because the Miz and Maurice, they're on USA. The Total Divas, they were on E. Even Cody and Brandy were on TNT. Montez and Bianca Belair, they're getting started on Hulu. You know what I mean? It's a streaming platform. It's a good platform for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I will have to agree. It's a good start off for them to really get a jump start into this to see if
it is a platform under the Disney conglomerate though as well.
Yeah, but here's another thing though. It's not going to be viewed nearly by as many people. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, it's on Hulu. You know, this is like
so
I don't think this is going to be a net negative at all for their freaking babyface runs right now.
No, it's basically a trial.
Like,
I want
really?
To see them go as heels. That'd be good to have.
It'd be cool.
For it as do as heels.
The only way I see that working though is if you have MVP manage them and also manage Hit Row, and it's all one faction though. That's the only way I see it.
James, think about this though. That would mean that potentially you're bringing up another tag team. Do you see Angelo Dawkins going heel? Street Profits going heel?
They could both go heel.
I think Carmelo Hayes is better as a singles guy. Oh.
Carmelo Hayes, Carmelo Hayes not even part of Street Profits, dude. That's NXT. He's a whole separate.
No, I know that. I'm saying for Hit Row, you know.
Oh, if he was to be called up,
That's why. Yeah, like I'm saying, MVP manages both Street Profits and Hit Row and Bianca, and like they're all Hit Row.
I think all those guys. I think Hit Row should get under Montez.
Yeah, that's why I brought that idea up because and then if you have MVP managing them too. Like good star power there.
You're almost like a new nation of domination.
You're almost recreating your own version of Empire.
Yeah.
Lashley's technically heel after what he did tonight. Maybe he would get back with Omos and MVP Cedric. You know, people have been talking about the reunion of the Hurt Business.
Yeah, and you could even put in Omos in there too. It doesn't.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
Devil's advocate, who would you rather hire, Eva Marie or Nia Jax?
Oh God,
Nia Jax.
Nia Jax.
That's not even close.
Nia Jax.
I gotta say Nia.
Gotta say Nia. And if for no other reason than to put her in the freaking bloodline. Her if they
she
do
does have that
somehow
relation. She does have that relation.
Freaking if they can bring her back, Naomi too.
Why hasn't Tony Khan brought Nia Jackson?
Doesn't want her to hurt his talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, I agree.
Simple.
I mean, shit, you had Velvet Sky complaining about Jade Cargill kicking her too hard. I think that was on Cody Rhodes' show, wasn't it, James?
Yeah.
They were complaining to Cody's wife that Jade was hitting them too hard on one of the episodes.
That was Red Velvet, actually, but yeah.
Red Velvet was complaining to Brandy.
We'll get to Jade in a little bit.
That was awful. I remember that episode.
We'll get to Jade in a little bit.
I remember that.
To
highlight.
To wrap up the WWE television news, it was also announced this week that the newest guest star for Young Rock, Becky Lynch, is Cyndi Lauper.
You know what?
I love that.
Yeah.
I actually
she looks like Cyndi Lauper.
That's crazy.
You know what, dude? Like, hopefully this move right here finally gets Cindy the respect on her name that she deserves, so that she can go into the Hall of Fame this year in LA. You figure everybody else that was a major part of the inaugural WrestleManias in the Hall of Fame, except the woman that was involved with the brawl to end it all, the war to settle the score, and the inaugural WrestleMania to really help kick off the Rock and Wrestling connection, which spawned the Hulk Hogan cartoon in the 80s.
Right.
Like, Cyndi Lauper is one of those main catalysts, and she is not in the Hall of Fame.
That's a damn crime. That is bullshit that Drew Carey's in there and she's not.
Do you want me to give you the non-politically correct reason? It's because Moolah's a bitch. What?
Noah, did you never see Drew Carey's television show that was on TBS?
Hell no.
That was one of the dopest sitcoms, man.
Oh, the Drew Carey show?
Yeah, the one that had Ryan Stiles on it. It was awesome.
Oh, that was Whose Line Is It Anyway, I think.
No.
yeah.
Ryan Stiles was actually on the Drew Carey show as well, JJ.
Oh, okay.
I've heard of Whose Line Is It Anyway. I've heard of that.
The Drew Carey show was lit. Like
I love the Drew Carey show. That was my shit growing up.
Yeah, so for anybody who thinks that Drew Carey just got chokeslammed by Kane, he was a trooper for doing that. Drew Carey.
He didn't even get chokeslammed. He was about to be.
Yeah, he didn't get uppercutted over the top rope.
Yeah, I love that
he
segment.
just left, folks, and then set himself out of the ring.
I will say the only thing I hate about that segment is they buried my boy D'Lo Brown completely by having him say Drew Curry. I will never forgive them for that. That was bullshit. All right.
Get down with the Brown.
Drew Curry. Who's Drew Curry?
Moving along, we're gonna get to AEW, some AEW news this week, and
oh boy,
we had
a
new signing.
All right.
Watch.
Hey, great Lord Almighty!
Yeah.
What
The Jeff Meacham acknowledged member of the Four Horsemen.
Man.
Double J, the chosen one.
He wasn't
is
really
all
in the
elite.
Four Horsemen.
Yes, he was.
Oh, he wasn't. He tricked his way
Here
in.
we
I
go.
watched it.
Yes, he was. Bro,
he may have tricked his way in. He's still in.
If Paul Roma is acknowledged as a member of the Four Horsemen,
not gonna end.
Jeff Jarrett, by God, can be acknowledged as he was a better horseman and was in a better incarnation of the Horseman than Paul Roma was. Bro, come on.
You had Art and Rick for the flair, if you will, and you had Paul and you had Mongo for the memes.
Who was the Horseman when Ric Flair was injured? There wasn't even really a Horseman. Flair was injured.
It was Benoit, it was Mongo, and it was Jarrett.
He stole Mongo's girl. How is
He's not wrong? He's not wrong.
Hey, listen, Horseman business, brother. That's how they do it, man. What is more Horseman business than stealing another man's girl? I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
JEFFJARRETT. Ain't he great?
Yeah, perfect, Nathan. Thank you for
That's a
taking
gimmick.
that.
No, I will say, as a person that could be a great hand backstage, absolutely,
that's the thing that he was mainly brought in for. He was brought in to be the director of business operations and trying to grow the live events.
Jared,
for AEW.
first order of business that you should make as part of this department: get everybody the fuck off Twitter now, immediately.
I agree.
James,
I friggin' agree.
Let's address one thing he did, and JJ, you might have heard of this. When Conrad was putting together the Ric Flair show, they were first at an auditorium that they pretty much outsold it. They had more. They were selling more tickets. And Jeff Jarrett came in and put them at a bigger venue. He facilitated that move. So obviously he's of some value when it comes to producing live shows. AEW needs to find a way to use their talent that they have. They have so much talent. They need to take that talent on the road and showcase. Darby Allin in a main event in Minnesota. This guy, who else? Hangman Page in a main event over here.
Ricky Starks.
Ricky Starks in a main event.
Miro.
You know, like he needs to, like how WWE used to run A, B, and C shows. Jeff Jarrett maybe facilitate that for Tony Khan. But as far
absolutely, and I also would maybe put Jeff in charge of Dark and Elevation, so that we can get a little bit more of a mixture going on over there, so we can really start developing that talent, so it can move up to Dynamite and Rampage.
And that's what it should be. That's really what those shows should be.
You have so many brilliant minds that you literally could put in management roles. Like you got Henry there, you got Regal there, you got Jarrett there. There's a lot of intelligent minds that you need to start tapping into that isn't the elite. Because look, I've said what I said. You can check my podcast, but you can bring Punk and the elite back. But the one thing that whole situation showed, you can't just entrust them entirely.
No,
I agree with Glenn Gilbert's segments, Disco Inferno segments, where he needs to start going outside of that inner circle. Jeff Jarrett is perfect.
Absolutely,
Henry, perfect. Regal, perfect. You know.
Yeah.
To all the people that say Jarrett never drew a dime,
yeah,
I think that is complete horseshit, and I think you need to give the devil his due.
Yeah, but I was saying this guy literally led companies to Providence despite controversy that followed.
I will say, as a booker, he did draw a dime. He is single-handedly, when nobody else was going to, put TNA on the map because he was the only one WWE talent-wise or former WWE talent-wise that could carry that strap because he was afraid everybody else was going to go. All right?
Yep.
As a businessman and as a booker, he drew a dime. As a character,
well,
not really.
That match with
that's debatable. I mean, the stuff that he did in early TNA, I would say did draw money.
No. What about
really quickly, let me put this conversation on timeout just a second. We did get a $2 super chat from Emmanuel Dominguez saying no damage control, no Nikki in the Bailey match to help out. What was the point?
There was none.
There was none.
Well, Nikki helped damage control in the second match to get the tag team title.
Mikey, I think what Emmanuel was saying was Nikki going to be the constant factor leading damage control to gain full control of Monday Night Raw? He's
saying that nobody helped Bailey defeat Bianca.
Exactly.
Right. Nobody came out in the last man standing match, really?
No.
On neither woman's behalf. Nope.
They left it straight up.
Yeah, they left it woman versus woman.
Yeah. There's really not much to say there, bro. I mean, there was no point.
Honestly, I think that match needed to be one-on-one. Yeah. I think that if Bailey won with damage control, it would cheapen the victory. Yes, she's a heel. Yes, she's allowed to get that cheap heat. But when you've got a champion as dominant as Bianca, you kind of want to be able to get a clean victory over her as opposed to a tainted victory.
Exactly. You got to hit the iron while it's hot. I mean, you know.
But thank you for the $2 super chat, Emmanuel. Back to the Jeff Jarrett topic.
Yeah, I went to a subtangent about booking power versus character connection. Yeah, as a booker, he definitely drew. He definitely sold. Character, debatable.
Well, he sold as a character, you guys. He had a lot of matches where he was putting over talent like Razor Ramon, like Shawn Michaels, even innovative matches like the one with Chyna. This guy was doing stuff. He was teaming with Owen Hart at a certain point in time. There were people buying tickets to go see him during Monday Night Raw. Buying the "Don't Piss Me Off" shirt.
I've got the "Listen Up Slapnuts" T-shirt from WCW,
and he brought the Slapnuts line back. He does.
Right. Yeah, he did. Absolutely, I love it. I will say, as far as WCW and his runs as champion there, maybe he didn't draw. But you have to also keep in mind WCW was a quickly sinking ship at that point. Nobody was drawing. However, during the NWA and his multiple NWA title runs, people were paying money to see him get beat. He was the epitome of a great heel champion. People were willing to shell out their money in whatever city TNA was in. Granted, most of it was in Nashville and Florida at the time.
Right.
But wherever they went, people were willing to drop money to see AJ Styles, Abyss, Raven, Jeff Jarrett, Christian, Rhino, whoever, somebody dethrone Jeff Jarrett. And the fact that people were willing, the fact that people were willing, hold on, Mikey, let me finish my point, bro. The fact that people were willing to drop money to see him lose the title is no different to Triple H's Reign of Terror. It's no different than Ric Flair as a 16-time world champion. It's no different to Hollywood Hogan.
Wait. In fairness to Jarrett, I think Jeff Jarrett's Reign of Terror is a little more tasteful because he did like full on like be racist to a black guy.
Yeah, no, true. And I'm not putting him as a performer on their level, but as a heel champion, every one of those names that I listed, people threw money down to watch them get beat.
Right.
Jarrett drew just like that. Would WrestleMania have been a success as it was if people did not want to see Roddy Piper get his ass handed to him by Hulk Hogan?
That's fair.
That was Jeff Jarrett's drawing power.
What was your
people
point,
need
Mikey?
to give him that credit, put that respect on his name.
What was your point, Mikey?
All right. So honestly, back then, because we lived through this, you guys, we lived through this. When you were just saying all of those names from TNA, you're like, and they had this guy and that guy. And yeah, all of those guys are reasons I would tune into TNA, but not to beat Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett devalued the product by continuously making us watch him get beat by all of those people.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. 'Cause he never got pretty much any sort of leverage. He's just the guy that's just there, and you're just like, why we gotta constantly see this guy get his ass beat when we don't want to see this guy? It almost became redundant.
Moving to other storylines.
In fairness, there was a reason though, because as
what
a
was
booker,
the reason, James?
Okay, I'll tell you the reason. Who under a full-time contract was TNA gonna be able to get at that time? The only one that they legitimately had was Jarrett. Seriously, the only fucking WWE former star was Jarrett. Listen, I agree that it was overplayed. It absolutely was, especially by the time Kurt got there, and they had him freaking and garbage was thrown after.
Don't go down that era, James.
Yeah,
don't go down that era.
Right,
well, like they even waited on that. They even waited on that Kurt Angle Jeff Jarrett match, and then they totally botched it by having Jeff Jarrett come out there and acting like he was gonna like wear gloves and shit.
Well, I'm not even. I'm talking about when he won the King of the Mountain. And people were throwing garbage at him.
Don't even get me started. I don't even know what type of match the King of Mountain match is.
It was necessary for TNA to survive at that time. And love or hate Jeff, nobody else was reliable if you're talking outside name in WWE. Hell, there was even a lot of TNA guys that they couldn't rely on because they financially weren't in the position to rely on them. So because anytime they did have Rhino, but hear me out.
I loved Rhino in ECW more than like Jeff Jarrett. But Rhino would have gored Jeff Jarrett through a table. Damn it!
The problem is, was he going to be around for the long haul? And
why not? Look how long he stood. He stayed in the WWE,
but
they not skinny.
They didn't know that. Is my point. They didn't know that. Jarrett did not know that, who was going to come and who was going to go. It was such a young company at that time. He was the guy that he knows if nobody else can carry the ball, I can because I'm in this for the long haul. Nobody at that point was more invested in TNA than Jeff Jarrett, even over AJ Styles. Because AJ was new to the industry at that time, and he was even considering around that time signing with the WWE. He eventually ended up staying with TNA, but only because it was convenient to raise his wife and his kid. But you take that out, he would have gone to WWE.
You think
know?
about it like this too, and in its infancy, when TNA was on weekly pay-per-views and they were trying to shop around for a television deal, when they ended up getting that shitty Fox Sports deal that was their first TV deal.
Yeah.
Who was the biggest name that they had in the company at that point?
Yeah.
Who was the casual fan going to tune into and know? Were they going to know AJ Styles, Chris Sabin, Christopher Daniels,
No, they're
or were they going to know Jeff Jarrett?
They were going to know Jeff Jarrett. It's like Chris Jericho, the reason he was established as the face of AEW when they came out in the air, because a lot of people compare AEW back to elements of WCW, and now they're looking back at, oh, look at that, we got TNA 2008 here in freaking AEW with Jeff Jarrett. But to try and bring this thing back to the key point here, Jeff Jarrett has been brought into AEW as a guy to lead the business as far as live event direction. This is a smart move when you consider, again, Jeff Jarrett. He's the guy that could literally move and motivate the idea of drawing the AEW product to bigger venues that go above maybe 7,000, 8,000, that hit the 5-digit mark, 10,000 to 12,000.
The very thing TNA was missing when they ousted Jeff from that position.
Exactly. You saw them.
Not even Hogan was able to do that.
You saw them go from thousands to a couple hundred. And you figure they found their environment, they found their comfort zone.
Those baseball stadium shows were abysmal in attendance. Holy shit.
They were.
And you figure that one of the things that AEW needs the most is people in the office.
Exactly.
People that aren't
not
consistent.
Everything all on his own. And he's finally hiring and assigning minds to take care of other obligations that get involved in running a wrestling company.
And he needs people that aren't going to be constant on-screen talents to be in the office. And I have a feeling that Jarrett is going to basically do like he was doing for WWE. He'll make the one-off appearance, maybe like he would pop up in the Rumble, he would pop up on the old school Raw or whatever, the anniversary show. But he's not going to be there week in and week out. So I don't think we have to worry about what Daniel says about giving Jarrett an AEW title match.
No, not at all.
That's not going to happen.
At best, he'll maybe contend for the tag straps.
Probably. Or
at
even
best,
I
just
could
to help
even
get
see
somebody
him jobbing,
over.
Let's be honest. I could even see him jobbing the Wardlow.
Yeah, he's
that
jacked.
could be a big win.
Jeff Jarrett is going to kick his ass, James.
Jeff Jarrett is jacked. I will say that. Jeff Jarrett has kept his body in
Jeff Jarrett is.
Tony Khan did the most cliche thing, y'all. How did he sign? He's literally signing the last outlaw to face the AEW outlaw. It's really going to be Jeff Jarrett versus Hangman Page on an episode of.
You know what?
This is why those tickets aren't selling. That Big G sent us the pictures of. There was nobody in those damn seats.
Well, in fairness, Mikey, every city, every venue, every time you book is different than the time before.
I think it's more.
Again, and it's hard to say when you think about hard cam, distractions, certain seasonal times. Think about what time we're in right now, not just sports, but the holidays, and nothing. I don't care what the fuck WWE says. Nothing sells out anymore because there is just not that drawing power in the wrestling industry. There isn't.
I'll just say this because I've already said a long-depth version of this on the Jay Hebert side, but it's really social media too. If social media wasn't a thing, this would be selling like hotcakes right now. Let's be honest. There's accounts dedicated on social media, JJ and Mikey, to telling us numbers for ratings, numbers for ticket sales, and those numbers apparently are supposed to be our biggest factors towards, this company's thriving, this company's going to go under. Fuck that! I don't even watch or read that.
Yeah, absolutely, and I don't cover most of that stuff because it's irrelevant at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I do think there's a little bit to believe in the whole fact that the Elite and Punk weren't there probably resulted in less people buying tickets because a lot of people want to see those people.
Recognize names, yeah.
And here's another thing I want to point out.
Sucks.
Oh no, I agree. We're in 100% agreement with that. They're all over the place. A lot of that, though, I'll tell you exactly what the problem is, though. It really, part of it is on Tony Khan because again, it's that drama that happened at All Out.
And he's also the
their
owner.
biggest stars are not on TV right now. They're not, and that's the problem. He's having to pretty much rewrite the show on the fly because of all the crap that went down. So, give him a pass on that regard, kinda, even though he kind of caused that himself.
Well, James, I don't want to give him a pass if he's going to just bring back the Elite and give them the trios titles like nothing happened. That is bad booking.
I'll tell you a couple things. I think the Elite do need to actually, because that division is floundering now since they lost the belts. Number one, number two.
So they just get the titles back.
But they do that. To your point, Punk has to come back without question.
I think Punk is coming back.
He has to. That's number two. But
Again,
I said all my thing on that. But as far as Jarrett goes, bringing it back to Jarrett, right?
Yeah.
I think the big reason why Jarrett is there is for management. And I think
absolutely.
It's not like he hasn't learned from his mistakes by this point. I'd be shocked. I genuinely would be shocked if he tried to bring Cornette and Russo back. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, right? No. So Jarrett is there, and he's already got enough fucking great minds to tap into management-wise. He's got Regal, he's got Henry, he's got Paul White, he's got Dean Malenko, he's got a lot of his old friends, right, that he can go to help him with this stuff, right? In both the AEW camp and the Ring of Honor camp. There's a lot of talent that he could just kind of pull from mind-wise, right? You get them all in the room, you are bound to have success. Jarrett is known to be a successful manager, a successful booker. You need a guy like that to steer the ship. Tony Khan, we have seen in the long haul, is just not that guy, period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently Jeff Jarrett wasn't the only person who became All Elite this week.
Okay.
Hold on.
Wait, what?
Everybody making a big deal about Big G's.
Welcome to the club, brother.
What? Whoa!
Oh!
Noah.
I love my friends for doing that.
Apparently Noah finally sent a demo out and got signed.
You wish.
Whoa!
Look for him to take Shivani's spot.
Speaking of that, man, so I imagine the reason they can't give elevation to ROH is because they got big champions on there like Jericho, the Revival.
Yeah, they're trying to get a bigger deal. That's what it is.
They're building the groundwork. Again, I feel like Final Battle has to be, because when they think about this, it's 1 year since the Ring of Honor pay-per-view under the original regime that ended that whole thing in the first place. And now we're at Final Battle 1 year later, owned fully by Tony Khan. Cut it out, guys. Okay, that was just a thing for
I was going to say, do you not see the love in the comments, Noah?
Yeah, I wanted this to be true. Guys, I hate to tell you it's not, but imagine if our boy got signed by these people, man.
This was about as real as that Sheamus versus Suzuki picture that got made.
Would you call dark, Noah?
I would call anything, man. I would call anything. It's professional wrestling, damn it. I call anything.
Whatever happens, Noah, don't forget us.
Look, the day that the 1 in 1 million chance, the day I get signed by a wrestling company.
You're gonna be podcasting with us still, damn it.
I digress. I would never stop doing this.
But
shout out to my brother Anthony from ATW for making that graphic. That's so damn good.
But on the
Noah would sit next to the Big Show. Oh boy!
And no more BS. Paul White, he's got some humor to him.
He's good.
Yeah, if you didn't know about Paul White's humor, go watch the Big Show if it's still on Netflix.
I love the Big Show.
That shit was hilarious.
Oh, he's so good on that, man. Dude, he needs to be a stand-up comedian while he's in AEW. Take up a stand-up gig, dude. I'm serious. This dude could make bank.
Do something with the Nemeth brothers.
Bro, do something
That'd be
with
brilliant.
Bill Burr. Could you imagine Bill Burr and Paul White on fucking stage? Holy
Bill
shit.
Burr is the man.
Yeah, love
That
Bill
show
Burr.
would never end, and people would die from laughing.
Yes.
Especially in that one movie. What was that one movie?
Yo, I got it. Wait, I got the comedy
Knucklehead?
special. Yeah.
Nobody
What's
talking
his
about
name?
that.
Knucklehead?
No, the one where he was bald. He was bald and like he was dating somebody's mom. Bill Burr was like dating somebody's mom.
Oh, I don't know. I thought you were talking
I
about
have
Big
no
Show.
idea.
I got it. I have it.
Go for it. Go for it,
Fantasy
James.
comedy special. Fantasy booking for comedy. Ready? Imagine Bill Burr, Joe Rogan, Paul White, the Baldies. There you go. It sells itself.
God.
Get in there.
Noah and Jim Ross. There we go.
God, Lord Almighty. I would just love to meet JR. That'd be awesome.
But
Despite
getting
the
to
fact he
the
did
other,
say, welcome to AEW Dynamite on Rampage. God bless that man.
Jared, like, that kid's got talent, which I'm not doing any hiring. I don't do the hiring. That kid's got talent.
getting to the other AEW news, I did mention earlier that we were going to get back to Jade Cargill. She gave an interview where she said, and I quote, "I know for a fact that the women in the locker room, all of them, could give 5-star matches. We just need the time to do it and the time to shine." Thoughts on this? Because I know a lot of people, myself included, as much as I am an admirer of Jade Cargill and I am down with that bitch, I acknowledge that she is still green as that top she was wearing and green as the color of her hair and has a lot of work to do. Where could she pull a 5-star match out? I don't know just yet. But I do agree with the fact that the women need to be given more time to shine and get over, and that there are a lot of women on that roster that could give 5-star matches if they weren't shoehorned into the spot that they are on television and actually were given the respect like Paul Levesque and WWE have been given the women since the Triple H era
Single
began.
women's division, yes.
But I was saying, we're talking about single women's division, and that's two separate women's division, and we're not talking about Ring of Honor, which again being a whole different front. Mercedes Martinez get well soon. The thing here, JJ, again, it comes down to booking. Jade Cargill is very optimistic in the potential of women's wrestling in this company, and that's what you need to be if you're going to definitely thrive going forward. They have built Jade Cargill as an AEW original standout with a dominant persona and definitely mainstream potential. That's a great starting point. And then you consider other great talent they have there. I think about Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander. One of the biggest flaws with the women's division lately, though, is the amount of injuries, unfortunately, this great division has suffered. You think about Penelope Ford, you think about Red Velvet, later, Chris Statlander. All these great original AEW women's talents growing in their potential in and out of the ring have fallen to injury. At the end of the day, this industry is just another reason why stuff is drawn back. I keep saying it. The Knockouts is the dominant division, booking-wise, structure-wise, in all of women's wrestling. NWA, their strongest selling point, is the women's division. WWE has come a long way with women's wrestling, but they still have their flaws too. AEW, despite being 3 years only, they've had plenty of time to try and bring more women as a focal point on screen and in the ring as well. But they lack the one key thing that, for example, the friggin' Knockouts have, and that is leadership, guidance. Why Madison Rayne is the coach. You don't have that key booker. You don't have that star player to guide everybody outside Serena Deeb, and she's basically faced everybody in and out of that ring, it seems. They need to have a stronger structure with the women's division when it comes to booking them and showcasing them. More in-ring versus just a couple of stage segments and then a single match in the same spot.
Agree with you, Noah. James, go for it. Hold on, Mikey. James has got something to say real quick.
I'll be quick because this is one of these topics I am going to take a piss on because I've kind of already covered this on the Jay Hebert side of things, and this is my one stance because it's part of a product topic. Ready? Here it is.
Go for it.
Jade and everybody else in AEW, stop giving a shit what the fucking internet thinks. All right, I'm going to go take a piss now.
That's another hot take, too, because at the end of the day, the internet could be your downfall. What's most important is how you all grow internally. If you all believe in yourselves, Why the fuck should you give a shit about some dirt sheet player on the internet or some random opinion of somebody? They
That's
aren't putting money in your wallet. They don't work for your damn company. If it's coming internal, then you got an issue. If it's coming from some random bystander, perception is key.
That's a fair take, Noah. Unfortunately, and I do say unfortunately, there are a lot of people who still put stock into what Meltzer says.
I know.
So for them to get that kind of respect from him is something that they still try to clamor for. We all know that Meltzer is full of shit. We all know that Meltzer is one person, and if other people say that they're doing well, they should believe in it, but sometimes you want that definitive opinion. It's much akin to the award shows we see every season, the Grammys, the Oscars, the Emmys. All the fans in the world could tell you that you're awesome, but until you get recognized by the Academy there, you don't believe that you're really making those strides and that you have solidified your place in the industry. Some of these women probably feel like until Uncle Dave gives them that 5-star championship rating, they haven't solidified their place in this industry. And they're trying to prove that they are worthy of that. And to a certain degree, I can get where they're coming from and what they're saying, even though James is 100% accurate. We need to not put so much stock into what the internet is saying. But, it's one of those two-sided coins, in my opinion.
Mikey, what's your thoughts?
I like Jade Cargill. So she was basically saying that all of the women in the AEW locker room can put on 5-star matches.
Yep, she's saying that every single one of the women on that roster is capable of a 5-star match. They just need to be given the opportunity.
Yeah, so I went and looked up the full AEW women's roster here.
All right, go for it.
All right, so I'm trying to think if we should start from the top or the bottom. At the top,
Keyword signed women's division. We're not talking about the women in development on Dark, including the Renegade Twins, Sky Blue, and Kayla Rossi. But continue.
We got Abaddon, who I like.
Yes,
I think
unique
she has
entity.
potential to put on a great match.
Mm-hmm.
Anna Jay, she's proven herself. I mean,
Yeah.
she was she better than Jade Cargill in their title match on pay-per-view?
Well, considering Anna Jay has literally also been just now a little over a year involved in the industry, but she's already shown enough to be part of PWI and even had an interview with Kristen Alley talking about how her character development with the Dark Order and now working with Jericho and the potential that she wants to be TBS champion, but not until somebody beats Jade. I feel there might be some conveying there. I will say Anna Jay has definitely improved since being a part of AEW, especially under the influence of Boy Lee, God rest his soul.
And then we got a potential woman that could put on a 5-star, Athena, of course.
Well, Athena, of course, literally involved formerly in WWE. I mean, she was involved in the Black and Gold NXT. She never truly became a champion, I believe, but she definitely is one of the more experienced mean hitters. And this new attitude she's developing almost makes me think she might go heel to a degree.
Britt Baker, obviously.
I mean, what is there to not say about Donna Baker, DMD, former AEW Women's World Champion, winner of the Owen, most predominant on-screen character in AEW women's history, and JJ has a take.
I just want to say really quickly, if we cannot go name by name over the roster, maybe just try to scan through and just pull out the ones that you think could not put on a 5-star match.
Yeah, like which ones which ones right now still have the longest to development?
Emi Sakura.
Emi Sakura is different because she is literally from Joshi Pro. Why she always a lot of experience because of her overall Japanese pro wrestling background. She really hasn't done a whole lot to be like a main draw in AEW like Hikaru Shida.
Yeah, we're not going to mention Julia Hart for obvious reasons.
Still young.
And some of the girls that run with Jade Cargill, but let me see who got. Leva Bates, is she as well known as any. I see she was in Shimmer.
Very well known in the independent scene. She was formerly Blue Pants at one point in NXT. Very well respected independent wrestler. But as far as AEW goes, she more so works as part of the producer / support role.
Oh shit. Yeah.
She was second hand to Brandy.
Sky Blue. I like Sky Blue.
Very young, very ambitious. She has definitely been a big favorite among the AEW fan base. And right now, she is being, I feel, mentored to a degree under former Knockouts champion Madison Rayne.
No, I was just kind of pointing out right there that she's kind of really putting a lot of newcomers at a degree of performing a 5-star match. You know what I mean? It shows that she has a lot of, you know what I mean, high hopes for herself as well to grow in the industry.
That's really what that quote comes down to. If we can wrap a bow on this, JJ and Mikey. Jade Cargill believes in the potential of women's wrestling in AEW. They just need the right direction, and they just need the opportunities. And we've seen it lately, particularly with Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, absolutely. And the bunny as well. The bunny really proved a lot.
Hey, Allie. I can't wait till she's back. Allie, 16-year veteran. She has one of the strongest backgrounds and experience in the industry. Been a fan of hers since Smash Wrestling, and she's already helped the likes of Red Velvet, Anna Jay, Tai Kanji. Her best friend, Penelope Ford, also now injured. Get well soon. And Penelope Ford was on the up and up to a degree.
Man,
Allie, in my opinion, is one of the strongest supporters in this women's division to learn from and grow off of.
JJ, you think if Tony's smart, he gives the title to Jamie Hayter, man? It's her time, dude.
Don't tempt me, Mikey.
Don't miss the boat.
AEW Full Gear is right around the corner. Don't tempt me. I met the woman. Don't tempt me.
Are we gonna miss the boat like he almost did with the Acclaimed? What was that in Chicago or New York?
It was Chicago. AEW all out because they had their moment at Grand Slam.
Here's the thing as far as Tony Storm and Jamie Hayter when it comes to me.
I'm so fucking excited for this match.
And before I say that, let me address Ryan's thing real quick where he says that he feels like Tony didn't want the strap. That is 100% inaccurate. She just wants the real strap. She doesn't want to be referred to as interim champion anymore.
Interim! Stop that bullshit! It has been over 60 days. You can't defend the title. You can't freaking work. Your body gives out on you. Too bad. So damn sad. Find your spot once again back. Tony Storm's been the predominant freaking focus of this women's division and its champion on a weekly damn basis. She is the AEW Women's World Champion. Deal fucking with it. Stop it, Tony Khan. Stop disrespecting Tony Storm.
I was just going to say it's
I was just going to say you can go back a couple of weeks to hear Noah rant on the interim situation, but you just gave another Cliff Notes version of it right there.
I missed this boat, JJ.
I think that Tony Storm doesn't lose it until she can fight Thunder Rosa to see who the true champion is. Unfortunately, Jamie Hayter is ready. I agree with you. Unfortunately, I do feel like the boat is going to get missed on this one because I think they're going to wait on Thunder Rosa. I'm not saying they should wait, but I have a feeling that's Tony Khan's booking.
At the end of the day, guys, this isn't AW Full Gear Pure Predictions. Let's wait on this. But I do think, and I will say it again, Jamie Hayter has potential to be AEW Women's World Champion. Just like I said, Chris Statlander had potential to be the one to beat that bitch. And I guarantee if she wasn't injured, Jade Cargill's streak would be over. Tony Storm has been a phenomenal, predominant champion. And I feel that she does need to continue because of the fact she has been presented and leading this division. Now, will it happen at AEW Full Gear? Depends on the storytelling. We'll talk more about that as we draw closer to predictions. But let's just go back to the topic here on hand. Jade Cargill believes in the potential. It is there. It needs to be honed. It needs to be crafted. And it needs to be believed in. Clearly, Jade Cargill says she's speaking about having this locker room. They believe in their own potential. They wouldn't be doing this otherwise, especially how young most of these incredible athletes are in their wrestling careers, period. We have to see how the booking changes or improves. There's still room for that, but at least they're trying.
Well, he has a chance to improve the booking, or he can just do the wrong thing again, like he almost did with the Acclaimed. You know what I mean? And
and only time will tell.
And he could sell half the T-shirts as well, and he could move into something that works. Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, it works. And if he needs a little bit of extra time, JJ, for Thunder Rosa to come back, Britt and Jamie Hayter will keep us occupied, because Tony Storm isn't really doing it for me.
Really?
And face isn't going to do it for me either when Thunder Rosa comes back.
That's fair. And again, that's your take as a fan. I respect that. I get that.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on from this topic here, so we can go ahead and bring James back into things. Hello again, James.
James, you missed some good women's wrestling topic.
Damn it! Respect women's professional wrestling.
I don't think he did. You have to remember, you weren't here for this point, Mikey, because we addressed this at the top of the show. James is sitting out on topics that he feels like
I've covered to death, or I just don't.
Your brain's melting down with how much time.
I spent my one bit, and I did it.
He's trying to protect his mentality.
Oh yeah.
So like Noah always talks about in his closing speech. So
I got my promotions. I got my promotions for the end of the show all set. All my plugs. I feel good. I feel accomplished. I feel great.
It's been a while since I got that heated.
You got a super chat, JJ.
Ding 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 ding.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool deal. We got a super chat from Psycho Jed White, 199. Thank you very much.
No
woman has come close to Britt Baker's star power.
There's no denying that, because again, the way Databreaker DMD has made herself the predominant force on a weekly basis in and out of the ring, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. Let's move on.
Like her or not, the only female talent that they have that has come close is Jade.
Right now, they have a Becky Lynch-like opportunity with Jamie Hayter. They have a Becky Lynch-like opportunity to make a star. And if they miss this boat, they've got people tapped in right now. If they miss this boat, that's on you, Tony Khan.
And we'll leave it at that, as AEW Full Gear remains to be soft.
Moving on. And it's cool that you mentioned Full Gear, Noah, because I saw somebody's post, and I don't know how accurate this is, about the proposed card for Full Gear.
Oh, really?
Okay.
So.
Okay.
All right, let me take a look at this. AEW Full Gear comes to us from the New York, New Jersey area. We have Chris Jericho defending the Ring of Honor World Championship against, they almost got it right there. Sammy Guevara, Claudio Castagnoli, and Brian Diaz. Jesus, that was a freaking
six-man tag. No,
if that was a freaking six-man tag, that'd be a whole different animal. Considering, okay, out of that match, how do you set up the title match for our final battle? Jungle Boy Luchasaurus, that needs to come ahead for damn sure. Who called the tag match earlier with Jeff Jarrett? I think you hit the nail on the head there.
You know what? That's a good card.
Oh,
yeah, it is. Jay Cargo versus Nyla Rose. I love, by the way, how Nyla Rose has just literally manipulated Jay Cargo this time. This has been one of the most hilarious damn things ever.
You know what? Like, for a card, they have...
This card is not impressing me, guys.
I'm impressed by it.
I'm impressed with this card. And I'll go on record. For the last 2 years, my pay-per-view of the year has been AEW Full Gear. Yeah. So I'm highly looking forward to this card. And
this is really well done, yeah.
Seems on point right now. Again, number 11 is the only one right now that's been confirmed with what it is. Everything else has yet to be determined. Bandito versus Ethan Page is the one wild card match here I could see changing based on who's in the finals of the AEW Eliminator Tournament.
Issue...
Moxley, MJF is confirmed. Acclaimed, Swerve in Our Glory is confirmed. Tony Storm and Hayter is confirmed.
Let's fucking go.
So those three matches right there are definite.
I don't think they're going to confirm Saraya and Britt Baker this week. I think they would have already confirmed that. I don't think they're going to confirm that yet. It's too much.
The only piss break for me, and on a personal level, is the Britt Baker match, and I know Saraya's in there. I'll tell you exactly why. Because as a person, nah. But
all right, let's leave it at that.
I will still even watch that just because it's Soraya. If that is,
James, we'll be calling this.
Yeah.
Time out real quick. I'm going to throw the graphic back up there in just a second, but we just got another super chat from Psycho Jed White, $2. Thank you very much, Psycho Jed White. Says, AEW is nowhere near as exciting for me since Cody left.
Yeah, that's a different take.
And then he goes on to say, love you, JJ, Noah, Mikey T, and James. Thank you very much, Psycho Jed White. We appreciate the love and support and the super chat.
Psycho, I will say you're not wrong, but and also when it comes to the backstage drama, Cody had that shit on the Rouse while he was there too.
There you go.
It just wasn't getting the best storylines was the thing.
Yeah.
Going back to the card though.
This is a really good card from top to bottom. The only
and Hobbs
is
pretty much confirmed. I hope the Elite and the Death Triangle happens. That'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, right, there's a couple things I want if they're gonna do this. Number one, on the pre-show, because they're probably gonna build the pre-show too for this.
Buy-in, 0 hour.
Buy-in, whatever it's called, right? They need to have a number one contendership for the AEW All Atlantic title.
Agree.
All right. And I say and I think the two people that can represent that very well to main event the buy-in, I think realistically you should do something with Ricky Starks and you could have him fight whoever, but I think you're doing a big disservice leaving Ricky Starks stuff.
It looks like the All Atlantic
even if it's main eventing a buy-in.
There's no All Atlantic title match here, James. I think it would have to be on
right. That's why I'm saying
exactly.
why I'm saying you have a number one contender champion for the championship on next week's Dynamite. So Ricky Starks
here's something else to consider, James. There's another match on this card that isn't accurate, at least from what I'm seeing, and that's the Ethan Page versus Bandito tournament final, because it looks like they're in the same side of the bracket.
Which means that this whole tournament could really go anybody's way. And honestly, I see Ricky Starks being involved in the finals. I do.
It looks like it could be Ethan Page versus Ricky Starks.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes.
Because Starks is in the other half of the bracket.
Never disregard what I said.
Eddie Kingston is on the same bracket as Ethan Page.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Eddie Kingston versus Ethan. The quarterfinals, as they lay out right now, are Eddie Kingston versus Ethan Page, Bandito versus Roosh.
I can't believe that.
Winner of those two matches face off in the semis. The other bracket is Lance Archer versus Ricky Starks, and Dante Martin versus Brian Cage. Winner of those matches will face off in the semis.
I think you should have the two runner-ups compete for the All-Atlantic title then. So have a number one contendership. Whoever loses on those finals, have them fight for the number one contendership on the main event of the buy-in.
It's funny how
specifically for the All-Atlantic title.
Yeah, it's funny how Ethan Page is involved in this tournament when he made his original intentions be known. He wanted to go after the AEW All-Atlantic Championship.
Well, he attacked MJF, so it makes sense, but I would much rather see MJF versus Eddie Kingston.
Agreed.
Yeah, but I feel like you need to wait a while before you do that.
Plus, Eddie Kingston right now is falling apart at the seams. He can't even control his anger. That might be his downfall.
Yeah,
that's how Tony Khan keeps messing up his champions by giving them such non-credible first challengers. Like so he's gonna let MJF beat Ethan Page 2 weeks after winning.
Well,
who gives a shit? Like
no, here's the thing though. Here's the thing. If Ethan Page doesn't win it and Starks does, man, MJF and Ricky.
Yes.
Oh my God. The pro battles, bro.
That's a main event. That's a championship main event.
Houses just on that alone. Ricky and MJF are like promo scholars, bro. Like seriously, these guys would tear it up on the mic. Never mind in the ring. We know how good they are in ring.
Yeah,
but
right.
On the microphone, we always talk about how that's the biggest selling point in pro wrestling, right? Ricky and MJF. Ricky as MJF's first opponent is a very, very good choice. That's a very well thought out choice, actually. I'm for Ricky Stark's MJF program this soon, especially if they have that on Winter is Coming. That's on my channel. I'm doing a watch party on that shit. I'm in for that. I've been the biggest advocate for Ricky since got here. I've been the biggest advocate since Ricky Starks has gone in there, and I've said from day one when he showed up, him and MJF are the future of wrestling.
There you
I
go.
said that from the get-go, man.
Well, JJ,
those guys should start it now.
It looks like our Full Gear match will more than likely be Eddie Kingston versus Lance Archer. My prediction.
I disagree with that.
I don't
You
know,
just
man.
said you were rocking with Eddie Kingston, though, man. You said you were rocking.
No,
with
I have been anti Eddie Kingston for the longest time. I knew him on the Indies. He was a dick.
He was addicted, JJ.
Or him and Kevin Steen.
So,
and quite honestly, he's kind of been a dick lately. So.
Yeah,
Again, like I
exactly.
said, he's falling apart. But let's get back on the track here, JJ.
As far as this tournament goes,
Wait,
the
hold
way
on. Wait, Mikey, you got cut off. What were you trying to say?
I was asking JJ, did Eddie Kingston ever wrestle Kevin Steen?
Not to my knowledge.
He might have.
He might have not just been at a show that I wasn't there.
I could take a look real quick. Why, Mike?
Probably a Ring of Honor show or a Chikara show. I could see that happening, or a PWG even.
I don't know. Actually, that's a good question.
I think it's one of those three.
Anyways, JJ.
I was going to say, the way I'm looking at this tournament, I see Eddie Kingston losing to Ethan Page.
Mm-hmm.
I see Bandito going over Roosh, Ricky Starks over Lance Archer, and Brian Cage over Dante Martin.
Brian Cage over Dante Martin, really?
That really could change the finals.
He's finally getting a win. Brian Cage
Yeah.
is finally getting it, but I don't think he is. He's going to lose thrice.
There is too much stock right now in Dante Martin. He was announced as the first participant in this thing.
That doesn't mean
No
you can't.
stock in Dante. Noah, the stock is gone.
I don't know,
That's
man.
what I'm saying. I think you know what though? Long
I think
term though, Brian Cage and Ricky Starks is the better matchup for the finals.
Oh, well, I mean, it's another big man versus small man after Ricky Starks has already overcome Powerhouse Hobbs. So, I mean.
Right, but if
It would be the semis because him and Ricky Starks are in the same bracket.
Okay,
I'm looking at the bracket. That's what I mean, JJ. And
Okay,
also
so yeah.
Brian
Yeah.
Cage, he's Ring of Honor, and honestly, the whole embassy thing gets it back, and they're a dangerous force. Okay, they got squashed by Wardlow. Brian Cage has now challenged both Samoa Joe and Wardlow for their respective titles, falling short.
Now he's going to lose to Dante Martin. But
Exactly.
dude, Tony Khan has lost faith in Dante Martin. When he did his first media scrum, he bombed.
He wasn't ready for that. He wasn't
okay.
ready for that. Again, he wasn't ready for that.
Here's the
we
thing,
talked
though.
about that.
Here's the thing about that, though, Mikey. Like Dante, I don't think we have anything to worry about. I think they're gonna make the right call. I would hope to make the right call because Dante is the underdog anyway.
He's gonna win.
He's not gonna win, but he's gonna be the underdog fighting from within. One of my favorite
Cage and lose to Archer.
I hope not. But
I
here's my thing. Here's my thing with this, right? My favorite television match on AEW, Powerhouse Hobbs versus Dante Martin, because it was so well thought out, so well planned. It was so smooth.
It was brilliant.
Perfect David
Did
Goliath
Dante
match.
lose to a spine buster?
He did lose to a spine buster.
I watched it, man. Who the hell loses to a spine?
I was there live,
Hey, listen,
dude.
Who did he do a
It
media
ain't about
scrum?
the
Yes, I
actual
was.
move. Hang on. It ain't about the move. It's about how you execute it.
And about who executes it, okay?
If you can execute it that it looks like it could be a finish, then it's a finish. Man, like, that's
Exactly.
it.
It's
That's
been a
just it.
go-to. It's been a go-to for Powerhouse Hobbs. And another thing before I give it back to the host here, I was there live, by the way, last year in Cincinnati when Dante Martin took on Powerhouse Hobbs. That was fucking epic, my match of the night. What's this? Mikey T, James, and JJ, will y'all ever appear on the NoDQ reviews again? Noah, you did. Oh, well, thank you.
No ill will towards any of the people on the panel, but that's a hard no for me, dog. For
That's
reasons
fair.
that were stated in the beginning of the podcast. So,
It
count me
depends
out.
on my work schedule. We'll
That's
see what
fair.
happens this week.
I love going on to the No DQ review
Yeah, it's always a
whenever
good
I
time.
can. My problem is the fact that they usually go live at like 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock my time. And at 4 o'clock, I'm not quite home yet from getting the kids from school.
Right.
At 5 o'clock, I'm basically like trying to rush home from getting them, run up the stairs, and get set up at my computer in time. Right. So it's definitely something where I have to work things out with other people to assist me in getting the kids, and I can't pull that card all the time.
So going back to this, just to put a bow on this, I feel like that AEW Full Gear card.
Yes, poor Mikey. He didn't give his thoughts on the No DQ review.
Oh yeah, go ahead,
I
Mikey.
was just gonna say that I usually appear on the No DQ predictions.
Yeah,
and I've missed the last couple because usually on Tuesday night, that's kind of like the movie night for me, honestly. So I kind of like wanted to I've been wanting to be on the No DQ predictions for the last few ones because I usually like doing that. You know what I mean? I'm grateful to be a part of the No DQ Predictions League and also Mike Night as well, man. I appreciate you guys for having me on the show.
Always a pleasure.
Of course, Mikey T, you're always welcome. And I try to avoid the
predictions. Good God.
Yeah, I try to avoid the No DQ prediction panels only because I feel like we get in depth with them on our pre-shows for the shows. Yeah, whether it's myself and Noah or James or Jeff or whoever. So I basically just save my thoughts for there. That way I'm not pulling a Noah and appearing on 27 different prediction shows in the course of the week.
And somehow I still get different takes.
I feel for this man because with 4 pay-per-views, PLEs, one every Saturday, you know this dude is busy virtually every day of the week this month because he's on some show on some channel giving his thoughts, either prediction or post-show wrap-up about one of these pay-per-views. How this man is not exhausted with a freaking IV of Monster Energy going through his veins is beyond me.
Yep.
I also want to touch. I just want to give a little sneak preview, Mikey. I want to invite you on a show that I'm running that is non-wrestling related, but is totally in depth on bar breakdown and the rap industry and just music in general, called the Don DeMarco Show. We'll talk off the air about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, this card, 90% accurate. It looks like the ultimate factor is our AEW Full Gear World Title Eliminator Tournament Finals, and as far as that 6-man tag, it is now a fatal 4-way for the Ring of Honor World Championship.
Hold on 1 second. What's going on with the 6-man tag? The Jericho, Sammy.
Okay, so AEW Rampage. Here you go, folks. AEW Rampage involved backstage segments with Blackpool Combat Club, William Regal, Claudio Castagnoli, and Bryan Danielson. Talk about how they've been pissed off that Chris Jericho's been attacking people outside the ring. Commentators and announcers, particularly Rebecca Bonnie and Bobby Cruz. So they basically put the thought out there that they both are former Ring of Honor champions in their own right. So Chris Jericho, balls in your court. Make a choice. William Regal literally challenged Jericho to make a choice. Jericho, his rebuttal, why face either of you? Hell, I'll face both of you. But I'll add Sammy Guevara to this too, because Sammy Guevara, he will do what's right at the end of the day to make sure that honor is Jericho and the title stays with the Jericho Society. So now is the fatal 4-way match for the Ring of Honor World Championship. Chris Jericho defends against Claudio Castagnoli, Bryan Danielson, and Sammy Guevara. And Sammy's a bit unsure based on what Jericho said, that when the time comes, he'll do the right thing.
Damn.
Yeah, and not to piss James off and send him back off camera, but considering the backstage drama with Sammy Guevara, how much of a burner would it be if they put the ROH belt on him?
Please don't.
Which is
why
funny
would you
because
just make it a triple threat? Like, really?
I was kind of hoping for that, but it's funny because Sammy Guevara was interviewed shortly after by just Tony Schiavone by himself, but instead of answering the question how he feels about Chris Jericho's take on Sammy's involvement in this match and the plan, it seems, as an insurance policy.
Who's signing off on this shit?
Instead,
who's the management? Like, who's just saying, like, why are they making matches? Like, oh, this is exactly what's going to happen. And it's,
Chris Jericho has more creative control, James, as you know. So, I mean.
Yeah, we know. He's got CM Punk's office job. We know.
It should be
Jericho. But let's move on past that because we don't want to send James on another tirade. I apologize for stepping on you, Mikey.
Why ruin your buy rate for Final Battle?
I agree.
That's a fair point. They should save that Ring of Honor title match for Final Battle.
We're going to have to see what Sir Tom has to come up with for Final Battle, but we got to get through this.
I think one of those people in the Fatal 4-Way match is probably going to draw the money, though. We'll see who they pick on that.
Well, that officially wraps up all my topics for this week. So we can go ahead.
I have one topic, by the way, that I wanted to bring up if we want to get into it real quick.
That's
a positive one.
Okay.
So, if people have been paying attention, we are approaching the 1-year debut of the Shield debuting in the WWE for the very first time as a unit. We are also approaching they debuted as a unit on screen very soon with Survivor Series coming up. Currently, all 3 members of the Shield are the champions of their respective divisions. Seth Rollins with the United States title, Jon Moxley with the AEW title, and Roman Reigns as the Tribal Chief holding both the Universal and Undisputed World Championships. My question, everybody here, is what will be the legacy of the Shield going into the future? What is their legacy now? And what is your favorite Shield memory from past, present, future? It could be individual moments. It could be the faction in and of itself. I think it's worth bringing up because we're approaching it. So why not?
I mean, that's a really strong point, and I really like that sort of continuity and retrospective. I mean, again, when I think about the Shield and their incredible reign of dominance, really bringing forward what trios matches were meant to be, it has to be the Shield versus the Wyatt family Elimination Chamber for me. That was definitely my strongest point when it came to those 6 men. That match felt more important than the Chamber match itself. That crowd would not stay in their seats during that 6-man tag. And for the better part of the first few minutes, neither team touched each other once the bell rang. That's the type of atmosphere that match pertained to when it came to a battle of these families.
I say to this day, they should have done something else for Cena. That should have been on Mania, man. Dude, you could have heard if you put that on Mania, man. Oh my God,
that
the
match
deafening crowd, man.
That
should have been on Mania to me because that was so good. What you said, everything. I agree. Favorite match, period, of the Shield. My favorite
period.
My favorite moment of the Shield, is honest to God when they came back because it was the most Roman Reigns has ever been because he finally got to be himself on the mic and a little hint of the Tribal Chief on that return of the Shield.
Yeah,
I really like that.
Became.
And plus, one of my other favorite moments is that Kurt Angle was an honorary Shield member. That will always be one of my go-to fucking moments ever. I love that
so
shit.
Random.
My favorite individual moments for each. Jon Moxley's promo after the all-out crap. What a fucking promo, man. That one of the best in the business.
That's one when he told somebody in the crowd on TNT to shut the fuck up.
No, different promo. I'm talking about the one.
Back after carving his
He said that on TNT.
That was awesome.
Jon Moxley in general, since coming back to AEW or becoming part of AEW, double enough 2019. Jon Moxley, that pop and JR going JR when he came in. Good Lord Almighty, Rip just came off. I think that probably was my favorite moment. But Jon Moxley has had an endless array of incredibly memorable promos. His most powerful one, most recently, definitely being when it came to being the AEW champion, being the guy in All Elite Wrestling, reminding us when we became a fan of this company in the first place before all the bullshit that happened most recently at the end of this summer. So yeah.
My favorite moment is that. Yeah.
Seth Rollins. I don't know, honestly. Seth Rollins.
I got one for you. I'll be honest with you. Seth Rollins, as far as match goes, I think the best match of Jon Moxley so far since the Shield's been out, of recent memory, definitely the Moxley Punk match. Say whatever you want to say, but that match ruled at All Out. My favorite match that Rollins has had is him and Riddle. And I'm talking about the first one, not necessarily the fight pit, although that was good too.
The fight pit was pretty cool.
I love that whole feud. My favorite moment is definitely the John Bones Jones Daniel Cormier mock that they did. I love that. Jon Moxley's promo as well. Favorite Roman Reigns match. I definitely would have to say Danielson and Edge was fucking awesome at Mania. Love that match.
It's a good
and my favorite moment has been recently, genuinely. Best moment was the whole thing this week with Sammy being an honorary Uso. So that whole segment was so good. So
Sammy
good.
being a part of the bloodline and being named honorary Uso, it's just been absolutely phenomenal.
Mikey, what's your favorite Shield moment and match, and what's your favorite individual moments and matches?
All right, so some of my favorite Shield matches are when Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns actually teamed up against the Brotherhood.
Yes.
Cody Rhodes and
Yes.
Those are some of my favorites from back in the day. I won't lie, and especially when Cody and his brother Goldust actually got the win.
Love
JJ,
that
were you
moment.
back with us at that point watching it? Had you taken the break when they finally put?
Yeah, that he was way on break on that one.
They finally put Cody with Goldust, and they put some respect on
the road.
Cody Rhodes' name.
I will
all the bullshit he went through of wearing the mask, of being dashing. They just let him be
himself.
Be himself.
And I will say, like, this is really an advertisement for JJ to go back and watch these matches for the Shield. That's all this really is. Because I can confirm he was definitely out of the loop. He has made that known plenty of times.
Watch with the Shield, because the Shield had broken off into Seth Rollins and
The
Roman
Authority.
Reigns, much like Batista and Ric Flair being the tag champions, and they put the U.S. title on Dean Ambrose, and it kind of sucks.
Jon Moxley currently.
They put it on Dean Ambrose, and this is why we're talking about the U.S. title with such respect today, because Dean Ambrose had the title and did not really defend it at all. So anyways, those were some of my favorite matches right there as a team. Some of the other Shield matches started getting a little like when they put Ryback teaming up with
Team Hell No.
Daniel Bryan and Kane.
I love that match.
That was kind of ridiculous.
How crazy Seth is just for taking that fucking bump.
Yeah, I thought he was dead.
I thought he was dead. I thought he got a concussion legitimately.
And of course, like you said, when Roman wasn't able to compete and Kurt Angle actually stepped in, you know what I mean? That was Roman who wasn't able to compete, right?
Yeah,
because of the, you know.
So, but as far as solo matches and what I think of their careers going forward, Seth Rollins has really solidified himself. The one that you really had to worry about was Roman Reigns, and he actually has solidified himself now. Roman Reigns, you know, people hated him for so long, and now he's found this character that he's eventually going to be able to be a face with as well. I just think as soon as Gunther gets it together, drops the IC title within the next 9 months, he'll be able to challenge. So Roman Reigns, put him up against AJ Styles. He's really proved himself. Put him up against Cesaro. He's showing us good matches. You know what I mean? Pretty much against anybody. You put him in Brock Lesnar. Seth Rollins kind of is weak against Brock Lesnar to me. Like, I didn't really like their matches together. But Seth is solidified. You know what I mean? He's just.
What about Moxley? What do you think of
Moxley? He's really proved himself since going to AEW, but we got to remember how funny the man was after he got kind of gypped.
Yeah, true.
After he got gypped out of his mid-card title run in the WWE, he kind of turned it up. You know, they gave him the WWE title seemingly kind of quick after not giving it to him after a few opportunities. They gave like they put him in the match with Triple H, and we all knew he
so
wasn't
good
gonna
to
win.
this day. Love
An underrated match from Roadblock.
Yep. We knew he kind of knew he wasn't going to win, though. He didn't really get the justification in his championships run in the WWE, but he was funny there and did provide a good comedic element, which was really horrible once they turned him heel, because they tried to keep the comedy within his character when he was a heel, and it just didn't work.
That was the death of almost Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose at the same time.
Yep. So now him going to AEW, he's really, aside, I think in his more recent title runs, he's solidified himself. In his first title run, they were kind of just letting him beat everybody. Rest in peace, Brody Lee.
To be fair, it was during the pandemic, Mike, and there wasn't a whole lot of people available at the time. The most personal rivalry he had during that was Eddie Kingston.
Eddie Kingston, which I did not like seeing Eddie Kingston challenge for the title on pay-per-view. Was that Full Gear when he challenged?
It was Full Gear 2000.
I love their promos, though. Their promos are
Great
still really good.
great stuff, but you know what I mean? But that's why I vouch so hard for Eddie Kingston in this upcoming tournament. But that's pretty much what I think about them, and they've all really solidified themselves. As far as Roman Reigns' title run, I'm hoping Roman Reigns takes the title to SummerSlam. I'm hoping he takes the title to SummerSlam.
Agreed.
Seth Rollins, what am I thinking? Oh, this is what I'm thinking real quick on Seth Rollins. I think Brock Lesnar needs to get his wins back over people that have beat him, just like he did with Bobby Lashley. I think next he needs to challenge Seth Rollins at WrestleMania potentially and take the United States Championship.
That would put it on a good. That would elevate that belt quite a bit too.
But Brock Lesnar challenging for something less than the World Championship,
Sounds a little crazy, but he needs that win back from Rollins for beating him in 5 minutes.
And you know what it could actually give us, Noah? And I would not be against this. U.S. champion Brock Lesnar versus Matt fucking Riddle.
And that's
U.S.
a match
champion
that
Brock
yet to be
Lesnar
visited.
versus Randy Orton.
To be fair, JJ, that is a match yet to happen, by the way. Matt Riddle and Brock Lesnar, and that would be quite interesting.
Yeah.
It would be. The biggest problem I foresee with putting the U.S. title on Brock is that he's a part-timer.
That's fair. But
and especially if Roman is still Mr. Two Belts, you need that belt to be on somebody that can defend it on a regular basis.
But here's my
backlash.
Here's my question though. If Brock Lesnar wins the belt, right, but then loses it to Riddle,
bro,
probably Drew McIntyre.
Champion.
I'm just saying. I mean, that's a possibility. I wouldn't be against. And plus, Brock seems like he's actually having the time of his life, and I don't know if he really wanted to go. I think he wanted to come back. I think he genuinely wanted to show up and work. So I don't know, man. Brock might be more full-time than we're thinking this
the fact, JJ, that Brock seemed vulnerable, and I'm using that word the same sense as Brock Lesnar. Put that in perspective. The fact that Brock looked vulnerable against Bobby Lashley today at Crown Jewel, that's
we know. Well, that's because Brock Lesnar is a phenomenal seller. Let's not kid ourselves. Come on.
We got another super chat, gentlemen.
Hey.
From Psycho Jed White.
Cody
$2 super chat. Cody versus Seth for the U.S. title and Rock Roman for the world at Mania.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. I would love to see
idea.
Seth with that U.S. strap, man. It makes all the sense in the world with his
Night
guard, man.
one.
That would look awesome.
Night one alongside Ronda and Becky, I would say.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Now, real quick, JJ, your thoughts on the Shield?
See, like you said, I missed a lot with the Shield. Like, I saw their debut when they came in and helped Punk.
Right.
And I saw them for a little bit after that, I don't have too many memories of them as a unit, though.
Okay,
like
fair.
that's my problem with the Shield.
That's fair.
Most of my memories of them as a unit came in their random reformations throughout.
Yeah, I saw their final match at Fastlane 2019 for what it was worth.
Remind us of one, because I was
like when they came back together after Roman's cancer was in remission.
Yeah, so 2019.
2019, yeah.
Yeah. So
because their last match was Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, and Bobby Lashley.
Oh, the Dark Ages.
Oh, what about when they powerbombed The Undertaker through the announce table? We didn't.
Yeah, that was during the original round.
I saw it.
Yeah.
It was like, I read that on NoDQ, and I was like, what? The Shield powerbombed The Undertaker through the announce table? I got it.
And it led to Team Hell No and Randy Orton facing the Shield in a trios match.
Must-see matches that you should definitely check out, JJ. Definitely the one at Elimination Chamber between the Wyatts, the original Wyatt family, and the Shield. Banger.
James, I think the one against the Reform Evolution wasn't that bad either, and they had two of them. But I feel like the one
them versus Evolution as well, yeah. Both pay-per-views. I recommend the Extreme Rules match between Evolution and the Shield as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
that was really good. That was really good. But
as
go on.
far as individuals,
Yeah, here we go.
for Roman, I'm going to have to go with his matches against Brock.
That's fair.
Fair. Longest history since WrestleMania 31.
For Seth, I'm going to have to go Hell in a Cell against Cody.
Cody,
fair.
freaking madman.
For Mox,
Or Ambrose.
probably his first title victory after conquering the demons. Either that or his match against Danielson.
Yeah, that's fair.
When they were first starting to form the Combat Club.
And Rigo showed up, and I'm like, what the fuck? But
Well,
again, all fair takes. The bottom line, the fact that these three men are owning the industry, two of them in WWE, they're on the way.
Again, by the way.
Again.
All individually.
All individually. That's incredible.
And if you really think about it, too, their factions in some way that they've all had, even Seth's for the cup of coffee it was around.
What
their
factions? The
one
with
the one with AOP and Buddy Murphy.
Oh,
But
that's right.
if you think about it,
Messiah.
Every member of their own factions, you know, the Messiahs, the Bloodline, the Blackpool Combat Club, have all had success. You know, whether it's in the industry or outside of the industry. In AOP's case, and Authors of Pain's case, everybody has had some success.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely believe that the Shield, even over the Bullet Club, that's a hot take from me, is the most influential faction in the industry right now. And it has proven not only the fact that they're all champions, but every person that is around them or feuding with them has been elevated because of them.
That's a fair take. I agree, definitely. Why Jay White definitely has been the catalyst to bring Bullet Club into the stratosphere. Not everybody in Bullet Club is succeeding.
No. But everybody that was in the Shield is elevating everybody that is surrounded them or is feuding with them. And that's the key difference right now.
And it brings the industry forward as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
I was just about to bring up the Bullet Club Wikipedia, but I know we're about to wrap it up on the open mic night tonight.
And you would be here for a long time going for that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to.
We'll do a tier list later. We'll do a tier list later.
Oh, God.
I do want to know, why is nobody seem to remember these Roman Reigns AJ Styles matches? Am I just not remembering?
I love those.
I wasn't watching then.
He wasn't watching then, and that was during 2016 when they were testing the brand split. And I do remember those matches. They were freaking incredible.
I love those matches.
Obvious that Roman was going to win, though, right?
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that the one where they had the Usos and the Good Brothers interfere. I'm shocked they didn't do the Bloodline versus them like in a 6-man. I'm shocked that never happened after that. But
I know, right?
Would have been so good. Would have been so good. They probably could do that now. To be fair. Later on. Probably.
Yeah.
There we go.
Here's the club gets dropped when it comes to that Judgment Day match we're talking about, and Edge just chooses AJ Styles and Rey Mysterio and Beth, and they drop the club.
That's from my promotions, by the way, JJ.
I figured as much.
That's my
only time will tell. Again, right now, we got to get our way to Survivor Series War Games, but before that, Hard Times and AEW Full Gear awaits.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
There we go. I did discover while we were on the air, WWE did finally pull the trigger.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, Jesus.
Feeling Lucy? Are you feeling Lucy, baby?
Guarantee you.
No, not really. No.
I don't know, man.
That'll be in Hot Topic within a month.
Mike,
listen, if fucking scissoring can get over, this can get over, all right?
And this is WWE. WWE will sell anything because they sell to kids. There were kids that bought the biggest fan in WWE shirt when it was just the fan picture from the Performance Center.
Ugh. Yeah, next thing you know, they're going to buy property or Performance Center shirts.
Sounds like a good shirt.
I still hate that, by the way. I really don't like that.
This goes to show that even though you have access...
Why are you calling the property? Like you're branding your talent? The fuck are they, horses? Like,
hey.
Who has to be called property? Oh, yeah, I'm property there, massa. What the fuck, man?
That's WWE for you.
Let's start to wrap this up. Let's begin our plugs. Mikey T, go ahead and go first.
Guys,
get over your shit. Get your shit in. Plug it.
Appreciate y'all for having me on, man. You know, I finally watched that movie called The Terrifier 2.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good movie. I guess it probably will have a third one made of it. And last night I actually watched this movie with Mel Gibson called On the Line. And it's like a thriller. It has a shocking twist ending.
Okay.
So you're gonna want to watch Mel Gibson On the Line for the shocking twist ending. And Noah, I did not figure out what role Chris Jericho played in The Terrifier 2. I couldn't really even tell who the hell he was. A friend told me he was an assistant of a nurse or something along those lines. Huh. So yeah, you know, I restarted watching the Bates Motel series this week. I'm about 5 or 6 episodes into that. It's cool watching that after about 5 years since the season finale. And I'm into Chucky, and they're explaining so many things from like C to Chucky, Bride to Chucky. It's just some cool ass shit that I'm into. If y'all want to come and tap in with me, just come tap in on my YouTube channel, Report Card Radio. But you'll catch me here talking wrestling on the open mic night and some new TV shows that they're breaking into weekly with JJ and the guys, Noah, James. Shout out to Josh, everybody else. That's all I got, man.
There you go.
There
man.
we go. James, before I turn it over to you, let me go ahead and get the shill in one more time for the Cleveland combatant, Josh Mansfield, who joined us earlier. Feel free to follow him at Twitter at CatholicJosh122 or on Instagram, Mallowmangram. You can always check out his articles on NoDQ.com. Good friend of the channel and the Meacham Multiverse of Media. James, go ahead and do your plugs.
All right, man. So first plug right out of the gate. I've been plugging it, and everybody that have listened to it said it was a brilliant audio piece. So if you're into audio stories, go check this one out and seek this one out. It's a sibling role play, shared experiences. It's about 2 siblings battling life with autism. So check that out. That's on Mistress Audio's channel right now.
Question.
Go for it.
Why do you seem as though you are back in the 70s in this picture? Like you got the glasses on, you're chucking up the deuce. What's going on there with you, man?
Hey, man. Hey, listen, I actually own these sunglasses. I'm not even kidding. I have the Ozzy Osbourne glasses for real.
The crazy train.
Break them shits out, man. Come on, man.
I don't even know where the hell it is. Otherwise, I would. I'll do it next time.
I still remember, Mikey, you weren't here, but James, he broke all of us when we were talking about women and third-party applications. Said they were doing a great job, and then I think JJ was talking about that. It came off even creepier with the clean shave and the sunglasses.
Oh my God! Yeah. I forgot about that moment. That's a good one. I gotta put that in the highlight reel. But yeah, so check that out. It's really good.
Are you everybody that acting like a 70s guy on this reading?
No.
You're not.
But I do go. I do give a 90s beatdown Sting style in this ASMR roleplay to the bullies that were bullying the sister, quote unquote. It's a fictional story based on. Yeah.
Now that sounds like some good shit.
It's really good, bro. I'm telling you, man, check this out. It is legitimately a fictional story, but based on real events. So that's also a selling point. Go check that out. It's really, really good. I love this thing, man. I still listen to it just because, like, I'm fucking proud of it, man. So go check that out. It's on Mistress Audio's channel right now, which I will get to Mistress Audio in a minute because she is in a module officially now. She don't even know this. I'm dropping that shit on her immediately because we've kind of been in talks at this point. Along with other FTW production stuff, our watch-along of WCW Halloween Havoc 1997 on Luke Lynch's channel, along with our review on the Retro Wrestling Review series on Owen's channel. So we did this on October 29th, and we dropped this on Halloween. So go check that out. That's youtube.com/user/MetalNut1120 on YouTube. And for this, it's youtube.com/user/Wrestling Fortune 44 Boardman. Go ahead.
Why'd you do Halloween Havoc 97? Is that just the next one that you were on or something?
It featured the best cruiserweight match you will ever see in your life. Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero for the cruiserweight title, Mask versus title. Yeah. It also features Lex Luger and Scott Hall, which is a banger. Randy Savage versus DDP in that street fight last man standing match. And it featured a great opener between Yuji Nagata and Ultimo Dragon. So that's why we picked that show. And also for memes, we enjoyed Alex Wright, Das Wunderkind versus Mongo McMichael. Take for that what you will. And we absolutely shat all over Hogan and Piper. So the cage. So
I love Piper, but as you should have.
It was bad. It was a bad show. Or that was a bad show. Also on my channel, I actually have a video on my channel, as JJ mentioned at the top of the show. Jay Recited Things, episode 3. That was a botch on the thumbnail promotion on Twitter.
Botch.
The CM Punk and Young Bucks drama, absolutism and tribalism killing wrestling. That podcast is on the air right now, on demand. It's at 49 views and counting right now. Go check that out. Jay Hebert Side of Things, episode 3. On the Jay Hebert Side 95 channel, which is also the hub of For the Win Productions. It's been a while since I plugged this, but I'm plugging it for a reason. Check out, if you haven't already, the WYW Year 1 official intro. We are very, very close to getting Year 1, our first full calendar year, fully recorded. We are literally 3 months away from it being done, which means we just have to record the dialogue, and then we have to edit that shit and release it on the air. We're getting oh so closer. It was a battle with the pandemic and everything, but we're getting there. Stay tuned on that front. Check that out when you can. It's a CAW wrestling show, but it's basically an alternative, and it's an actual wrestling show that I run.
All right, hold on. So is it created characters, or is it how many people?
It's created characters, but it's a legit wrestling show. Ooh. And
idea.
Taka Michinoku's on there if you want a real wrestler in this. That's
are there people playing The Rock and The Undertaker and Stone Cold in this?
No. But we got Shawn Maverick.
All original characters, Mikey.
And we got Mark Young. You trust me. Watch the show. I'll send you a show. You won't be disappointed after you watch one show. Trust me. We made sure of that shit.
Interesting.
I remember.
We also, speaking of shows, we are almost at 2,000 views collectively right now and counting. Go check out WYW's Immortal Full Omega event that aired on April 27th, 2019. It is the one that competed with pretty much in at least quality WrestleMania 35, I think. Yeah, 35.
Oh, gosh, that was
check that out. It's 8 hours long, so I suggest you watch it in 2 parts, but it's worth the watch, trust me. Really good shit. Awesome promo packages, all on the WYW channel right now. And speaking of the modules, check out Weymouth Youth Wrestling, Luke Lynch, Wrestling Fortune 4, Noah Foster, Owen the Talkinator, and our newest channel member for the Win Productions, announced here live exclusively. Mistress Audio is a part of the team. Congratulations to you, girl. After that freaking product that we released, you earned it. And also check out the friends of FTW Productions, from Jeff Meacham to NoDQ to Ring Scoops Media, which is Wade Needham, to Hibiki TMD, to RVD Tito for Life, to the Casa D18 Studios, to 10 Count, to We Are Wrestling, to Greg Cherry Brand, the Fire Lord Guzan, and the K&H Show, all of which are on the modules. And I will play the final little bit of production.
Nice. Oh, man.
2 minutes. These are all shows that you can expect on For the Win Productions.
I always thought this.
It's out of my hands, but I'm still in control. It's out of my hands. You can never take away the power of my soul. It's out of my hands, but I'm still in control. It's out of my hands. You can never take away the power of my soul.
Damn. Probably pretty good.
Where is it at again, James? What's the song? The song is actually done by Dr. Disrespect. It's called I forget. Wow, how am I forgetting the name of this?
Blank.
It's Dr. Disrespect. It's called Alleyways. But I actually sang that tune in full on that preview package. That's all me.
All right, James, you sang the song, but how do I get that title?
What, the WYW title?
Yeah, how do I get one of those titles in that organization?
You love that title, huh?
How long would it be before I could get my hands on the gold?
You know what? It's funny you mentioned that. I don't know if we're necessarily gonna like actually have a replica, but we are planning on having a replica in house just to have in our office at some point.
The display piece.
We are getting a display piece, but
I wanted to win in the game.
That's nice.
Oh, you love the women in the game?
No, I said I wanted to win it in the game.
Oh, you want to win it in the game?
Defeat the champ, Mikey
You
T.
want to defeat the champ, Mikey T. And also, how about this one?
I'm coming. What is it?
If you want to voice act a character, if you want to voice act one of our characters, you are more than welcome to hold a title at some point. I'll show you all the titles. You can pick which one. How about that one?
No, I'm coming for the title in the game, and I can do some voice acting for one of your characters as well.
That's awesome. Cool. We got another voice actor. Yeah, we're bringing all kinds of news here on Open Mic.
Just about
To
booking everybody.
respond to Keen Mike X, no, Jeff and I will not be doing end of the year awards. We usually do not do those across the multiverse of media. NoDQ.com has their year-end awards, which you can go to NoDQ.com and begin voting on.
That's right.
You can also get there on their Twitter page. They have their polls up right now for male superstar and female superstar of the year currently going. But since the NoDQ channel is part of the greater multiverse of media, since a lot of us appear on their reviews and whatnot, and Talk Wrestling is over there every week when Jeff is available to do it, we just let NoDQ handle the awards. We do not take that shine away from Aaron, the boss man Rift, who's been doing them for many a years.
Bazay, yeah, and that literally just goes into play when it comes to talking about the greatest Q&A ever coming up on NoDQ for their 24th anniversary, I believe. I mean, as far as us, we could just talk about like some of our favorite matches, moments.
Like the best of or something?
You know, yeah, just like best of. Reminisce before we close out 2022, as I'm sure JJ will plug and allude to as well.
Yes,
we'll do something like that.
We'll
have an hour.
Yeah, I was going to say, let me go ahead and get to my shills here. I've got quite a few things to run through and try to plug.
Not shills. This is your passion. This is your content creations. God bless all.
It is, but you know.
Let's hear what you
I
got.
say it all kind of tongue in cheek and humor.
Gotta hear what's coming
Today was supposed to be my review of Black Adam. I was unable to get to the theaters. No time, no money to go see it just yet. I actually had no video go up today because between calling Crown Jewel this morning and doing open mic night this evening, I just kind of wanted to break and a rest in between time so I could spend some time with the house and the fam. So tomorrow, you're actually going to get my new release Saturday movie for this week. I'm going to be covering Weird, the Al Yankovic story, starring Daniel Radcliffe as Weird Al. It was supposed to be the new release Saturday for November 19th, the same day we do Full Gear. But because it was a Roku original movie that dropped yesterday, I was able to watch it last night, took all the notes I needed to be able to cover it. So I'm bumping that up since Black Adam is going to have to be pushed back a week.
JJ.
Really quickly, tomorrow I'm also going to be doing the Warzone as normal, though. It'll be another stack of Dollar Tree Blu-rays. Everything that I'm going to be showing off tomorrow on the Warzone was $1.25 at Dollar Tree. What's up, Mikey? What's your question?
Jimmy Fallon had Weird Al on his show, and he was kind of proclaiming Oscar potential for this, award potential for this Weird Al movie. Do you agree with that?
No. That's Weird Al being hilarious like he always is.
That was actually Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, there is nothing Oscar worthy about the Weird Al movie. I'm gonna put it like this. Here's a little short snippet, if you will, of what you will hear when you tune in tomorrow. Anybody who knows the career of Weird Al Yankovic will know that this movie is 120% in the style of Weird Al. This movie makes absolutely no sense. It's completely fabricated. It is a parody of a biopic movie. Take with that as you will.
Wow.
Weird Al makes parodies of everything, so there you go.
Before I continue, really quickly, Psycho Jet White with another $2 super chat. Proclaim me as the Multiverse super chat champion.
It might.
Damn it.
It might happen. It might. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, man. You might be $1.99.
But he wants to be
away from it.
At least for this week, Psycho Jet White, absolutely. I think you've donated $8 so far on this episode.
You're brilliant.
Yeah, man. Thank
Emmanuel donated $2, so you are definitely the Multiverse Super Chat champ for this week. We'll have to see if somebody can dethrone you next week, bro.
There you go.
That shit now that you're the champ. If you want to keep the championship when you send the super chat, hashtag it.
RYN, absolutely. It's Weird Al being Weird Al.
Yeah,
that is the complete opposite of the movie.
You know what? For right now, Jeff Meacham Multiverse, acknowledge him. You the one right now. You the one.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue that.
You the one.
He is the oosiest this week on open mic night.
Yes. If you super chat, you are the oosiest. You are the oosiest of all.
So moving forward, this month we began my look of Sandra Bullock films. I've already covered Love Potion #9 and Demolition Man this past week. Coming up this week, we've got While You Were Sleeping, The Net, and A Time to Kill all in store for you guys. One movie I had never seen before, 2 movies that I was very fond of, so it's going to be nice to sit down and break those down. On Monday, Jeff Meacham and I will be discussing the top 10 matches in ECW November to Remember history. That should be a fun one to do. It's been pre-recorded. It actually ended up being me giving my 10, Jeff co-signing afterwards, because I think there were only like 2 matches that he wasn't going to have on his list. So he just co-signed on my list, talked about a couple of matches that I didn't mention, and we called it a day. But it's a really good show. It was nice to deep dive into some ECW, something we hadn't really covered on the Dads yet. Of course, Tuesday, the doors open to Stat Boy Sports Bar. The food is hot, the beer is ice cold, and the seats are warm. So pull up a bar stool and engage in professional sports talk with Statboy Mark Caldwell and Dory Lou. Go ahead and get it out there. I'm not sure if it's actually going to be on this week or not. It's always questionable when it comes to Jeff as far as open mic or as far as talk wrestling, excuse me.
Bot.
Try to see. I thought I had uploaded it. Let me go ahead and upload it real quick.
I can say the current talk wrestling that dropped this week is not only on these channels that you see in front of you, but also for the first time ever on the J. Hebert Studios and on Simple Man Studios. Go check it out there as well.
Yes, absolutely. But even if Jeff does not get to talk wrestling, make sure you tune in for the greatest wrestling Q&A ever.
This
as
is
Jeff and Aaron get together to celebrate NoDQ.com's 24th anniversary.
Congrats again to both of them.
Any reasoning on why they did the 24th? Why not wait?
They acknowledge it every year.
Oh, they do.
You know, it's just one of those things. They do something every year when they can. Next year will obviously be bigger and better because it's the 25th anniversary, but they always try to do something every year to acknowledge their anniversary.
It's mainly because Jeff has his 15th anniversary while Aaron has his 24th. So next year,
Jeff's 15th. Because I did see Aaron acknowledge Jeff as the first podcaster of NoDQ. That was pretty dope this week.
Yeah, he is.
Of course, while we're going ahead and shilling for Mr. Rift, make sure you check out his Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown recaps every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, as well as the NoDQ review on Thursdays, co-anchored by Virtue. You never know who's going to show up on the panel. Might be Mikey T, might be Noah Foster, might be myself. Definitely won't be James for reasons explained earlier. No ill will towards the NoDQ crew.
No disrespect, yes.
Walter Cruz is usually there. Big G, Cleaver, Colin Andrew. You never know who's going to show up. But the next time that we will be presenting to you another watch-along coverage will be 1 week from today when the NWA presents Hard Times, if you will, in New Orleans, Louisiana.
And they wonder why nobody wants to watch this. Look at this creepy.
It's the Mardi Gras shit, Mikey T. You're going to have Noah Foster and Jeff Meacham.
I've been proved wrong again.
Noah Foster and Jeff Meacham will be on the call for this one. And then, of course, immediately following open mic night as usual. 1 week from that, Full Gear.
Let's fucking go!
Can they change this? I don't want to look at this. Why are
steampunk, man? It's steampunk.
Odd-looking gears.
The machines that work
full
here,
gear. What do you mean?
They need.
And then,
if it's full gear, you gotta have the gears in the logo. Obviously,
it's better than a damn train.
What do you mean? Is that what they have for Deadline?
Yeah. No, that's just what they have for Strowman, the tank engine.
Shit, I might have to say the Mardi Gras is better than this. I'm looking at a bunch of gears.
It's full gear.
It's full gear.
And then that week will be the kickoff of another huge week along the Casa D18 Studios channel and across the multiverse in general. That Monday, another Dad's Not Always on Wrestling, top 10 charity singles, where we go in deep on things like We Are the World. Do they know it's Christmas? You know, and stuff along that lines. Jeff is actually going to do his own take on a Renegade review when he covers Mickey, the Story of a Mouse. We showed the trailer for that prior to our Crown Jewel coverage this morning. So go back, take a look at it. If there's one thing I can agree with in the trailer for that, it's that it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what your ethnicity is, what your social background is. Mickey Mouse has been there for all of us. That Thursday, Thanksgiving, I begin my coverage of the Santa Clauses.
Why did they do this to this movie?
And then, of course, make sure that you get your requests into Santa Meach while you can.
Yep, you better get
all that Christmas coverage leading up to, we've got Survivor Series, we've
War
got
games!
Final Battle and Deadline
on, baby!
on the same day. We've got the Open Mic Night Christmas special on Friday, December 3rd, when we will be breaking out the Wheel of Carols. So make sure you save your money for super chats. It's going to take a $5 super chat to get a spin of the wheel, and whatever Christmas carol it lands on,
I'm ready to go.
we will sing it. Noah
Bring it
included. Damn it.
Bring it on! I'll be like Joe Swanson. I'll do metal renditions of everything.
But this is going to be a different open mic night. There will be no wrestling talk whatsoever.
We talking about
just
Christmas.
going to be talking about the holidays, Christmas traditions, family. It's going to be like when you go over to your family's house on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, depending on which day you celebrate and acknowledge.
Mhm.
We're going to come together as family, as the brotherhood and the fraternity that professional wrestling fandom is, and we're going to shoot this shit. No wrestling talk.
I'm not sure how I'm going to get through that, but okay.
Well, you've got traditions for Christmas, Noah. You're a simple man who loves professional wrestling,
A few.
but you have traditions for Christmas. You're also a church man.
Do you watch
So you
December?
can
Do you watch December to Dismember, Noah?
No, why don't I'm not trying to be silly here.
Talk, James.
I'm not trying to be silly here, but since you are a Christian man, you are a church-going man, why don't you break out the story that Linus tells during the Charlie Brown Christmas and the story of Christmas?
An audio read by me?
Yeah, you could just say it on the air. You know, it would be a great touch because you are the church man of the group. So it would be fitting for you to tell the story.
He tells a story. If he can do that, I gotta
choose a good one though. You choose a good one.
I gotta tell a story in my
Maybe the line
Morgan Freeman impression. I gotta break out the Morgan Freeman impression on the show if he's gonna read something.
Oh wow!
I'll read a story.
We can maybe figure out a way to do that. Maybe you can do The Night Before Christmas as Morgan Freeman.
Was the night before Christmas.
Okay, stop.
Of course, after Christmas,
With
we've got the
Morgan
New
Freeman.
Year's Eve celebration, probably the longest open mic night broadcast in our history. There's going to be greatest bits. There's going to be memories. Maybe not an award show per se, but we can
talk about
definitely
some
talk
stuff,
about our
damn sure.
memories and moments of the year.
Well, why at Christmas would there not be a favorite wrestling Christmas moment though? I mean,
Because aside from like Mick Foley or some Stone Cold Stunning Santa, what the heck is there really? Ain't nobody going to talk about ECW's December to December.
The Christmas creature.
it would give us all a second to like do a little bit of research at least.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Wrestling holiday gimmicks.
we can maybe talk
never
about our
remember
favorite
strongly.
Christmas movie
No.
to have a wrestler in it.
Noah,
What?
that would just be kind of weak. The Halloween.
It'd be kind of weird to say the least.
I mean, we can maybe cover our favorite Christmas movies that have wrestlers in them. I will be doing an entire week of that on Renegades Reviews in December. That will be aired prior to us doing that show, so we can maybe do something like that.
I could
You
actually
think about things like Jingle All the Way with the Big Show, Santa with Muscles with Hulk Hogan, Santa's Sleigh with Bill Goldberg.
Oh, fuck. That's
I Am
crap.
Santa
That's
Claus
cool.
with Mick Foley.
I could
That takes me
reveal.
There's the
every
pair of movies
movie.
with The Miz, Santa's Little Helper, and Christmas Bounty.
Hey, how about Star Wars Christmas special? We'll just do a watch along of that on Casey's channel.
Let's
Who's in?
not.
Let's do it. Let's have Noah watch the man on crack live and in living color.
I'd rather not, thank you.
King Mike X says he's ready for the scening.
Oh, shit.
Psycho
DX
Jed
Christmas.
White, oh yeah, Merry freaking Christmas.
Oh, every DX Christmas ever. That's funny. We can talk about that, right?
Oh Lord. There's a reason why those are buried somewhere in the past.
Well, I got a good idea.
I am. I don't know why.
You got one? You got one? Share it, Mikey. What we got?
No, I could put together a little something to do for the show. If y'all are going to be giving all types of speeches and shit.
Hey, if you got wrestling ones,
I'm just the guy that shows. I don't know what the hell awaits me on this one.
Yeah, we can talk
like
about.
I said, it's all gonna just be us talking about our traditions, the stuff we love, maybe the greatest Christmas present you ever got, your favorite Christmas gift, things along that lines. You know,
man.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's just an opportunity, honestly, for the fans. It's honestly an opportunity for the fans to get to know us better on a different level. That's what I'm trying to do: is break down the walls.
Yeah,
if
break
you
the
will.
walls down, if you will. Yeah, and see us as people, not just wrestling fans. They get to know that I'm actually very cool, I think, anyway, and not just a raving lunatic about wrestling.
And if somehow, some way, wrestling actually does come up, I mean, no, there would be nothing actually wrong with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But,
I mean, we always say that if someone wants to introduce a topic, it's a super chat.
Right.
So if someone wants
well.
us to discuss something wrestling that day, it is going to take a super chat. You're going to have to super chat us. And if you super chat us $5 to introduce a wrestling topic, you also get a spin of the wheel where we'll do a Christmas Carol.
That one's got to be the $5, though, you said.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope
And be
spends their money on the
careful.
holiday season.
Enjoy this time while you can, because Mariah Carey is defrosting everybody.
And so is Wham! Last Christmas, I'm sure.
Can we give some underground artists a shot on these Christmas things? Like, give Jonathan Young a shake, man. He came up with some great Christmas covers, bro. And
you don't hear those on the radio.
Somehow wrestling will come up. Absolutely.
Yeah,
we know it's going to happen.
We know it will.
Before I turn it over to Noah, since the season has begun, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Oh, I got it. Wait,
There'll be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing when loved ones are near.
Yep. I can sing it out, James.
Go ahead, Morgan Freeman. Take it for me.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Oh, God.
There will be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing when loved ones are near. For it is the most wonderful time of the year with your host, Morgan Freeman.
And on that note, Mikey T bounced. He was like, "This is too much for
I had
me."
a question for him after the show, Mikey. If you're still watching this, let me know if you'd be down to do a Don DeMarco show. I'll explain more in DMs.
Noah, if you can gather yourself, please do your plugs and take us out of here as you so eloquently do.
Go on.
I mean, how am I
Take
to
us
top-
home.
How am I to top Morgan Freeman? God. James, you bloody freaking loon. God bless you. Oh Lord, this has been a hell of a good time too. I hope everybody
As the former Aaron Stevens once said, or I'm sorry, former Damian Sandow once said, "You're welcome."
I can't. That being said, folks, you want to know more about me? Know this, for I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling.
God damn it.
Don't take the Lord's name in vain. But I digress.
Fair enough.
Find me on Instagram, Twitter, and you know what? Just find me on YouTube and Twitter at this point, and then Foster1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out, of course, to our entire Tubby family on Twitter. As the holiday season draws near, we're going to be full of great cheer, but we're also taking it easy when it comes to the world of social media and the internet as well. So as far as my content, you'll see me more exclusively just here on the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse Media, provide you play-by-play coverage and reactions, and my takes on Open Mic Night. But there will be live Super Predictive panels coming forward on my simple YouTube channel. Of course, Forza Survivor Series War Games, Impact Overdrive, and AEW Full Gear. Whether or not there's any review and prompts in between, that remains to be seen. And that's just some of the subtle stuff that you'll see my voice and my personality carried forward on too. Maybe also a NoDQ review. But as always, I like to conclude. There are no winners, no losers, no betters. They're just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too, and treasure your families. And just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It's as simple as that.
Don't forget,
There we go.
Morgan Freeman can take the Lord's name in vain, for I am God. Don't you remember?
Couldn't say it any better myself, Noah. To the 15 people that are still watching us, thank you. I saw
shocked.
we got over 20 at one point, which I do feel is some of the biggest watched crowd we've had.
Yeah, man.
Since Jeff left for the open mic night
I hope
cruise.
everybody had a good
Thank
time.
you.
That's all that matters.
Thank you to everybody who tuned in. Thank you to Emmanuel. Thank you to Psycho Jet White for the super chats. We got another super chat. from Psycho Jet White.
Wait. What does this mean? Hold on. Screw it. This deserves one. Here, James. Say son. Huh? Wait, as in just
son.
Son. Like that? Come to Papa, son. Come to Papa.
Oh, God. Cut the feed. Cut the damn
But thank
feed.
you to everybody who tuned in. Thank you again to Emmanuel and Psycho Jet White for all the super chats. Thank you to Keen Mike X. Thank you to A for joining us. Thank you to RYN. Thank you to let me see who else was here in the chat room.
Oh, good Lord Almighty. Psycho J.
Right.
White is
Nathan
over
Banks.
laughing.
Nathan Banks, thank you. Daniel Mullinex, thank you. BB and Dennis popping in and watching along. Thank
you, everybody.
Yes, we appreciate all your guys' love and support. Until next week, for the Simple Man Noah Foster, for James Hebert,
Freeman.
for Mikey T of Report Card Radio and Josh Mansfield, for Jeff Meacham, the man whose name is on the marquee and who hosts us across the entire multiverse of media. I am the Renegade JJ Williams. Thank you for watching. We will see you guys next time.
Have a good night, folks. Psycho J. White with the last comment.